just don't crash as much. I don't think that's the issue. 4, 3, 2. This time we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live with the great and powerful Russell Peters.
Hi.
And one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever get into the ring, Lennox Lewis.
Don't mess with the best.
That's a fact. That you're walking around on this earth, one of the baddest motherfuckers of all time. Verified. 100%.
Feel good about it, too.
It's got to feel good.
Yeah, don't get in any fights.
But you know what else? You have your wits about you 100%. You're smooth and relaxed. You know, how did you do that?
Oh, I started out that way. It's like, apple don't fall too far from the tree type of thing. I've always been that way. Collective thinker, soft-spoken. And what you don't know about me, when you do know about me, you love me even more.
Do you exercise at all anymore, boxing-wise? Do you hit the bag?
Well, not hit the bag. I'm more into like working out with the weights. It was hard for me when I retired. That was the worst part.
What was the hardest?
Just, saying, okay, I'm eating more, so I need to exercise because I'm not doing no exercising. But when I start exercising, I'm training for a fight.
Right.
So it's like, okay, training. Why am I doing this? I'm not going to fight, but I'm still training for a fight. So mentally, I had to say to myself, well, let me try the soft things. Let me play tennis and all these different sports, which I can play. And that kind of helped me a lot better.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing with fighters. A lot of times when they're done, they're done. They just
look at my Donna.
Yeah, well, he's apparently gotten back into
training
shape
back.
again.
He's back in training camp, but my Donna got big.
You know why? Because he probably got an Instagram. People started talking shit because he's kind of fat on
That's
his
what
Instagram.
made me want to lose weight.
Really?
Yeah.
People talking shit?
People were like, holy fuck, did you eat your whole cast?
You do look like you're losing weight, though. You look pretty slim, my friend.
I lost 21 pounds with our dear friend Jean-Jacques Machado.
Well, hey, jiu-jitsu will peel that weight off you.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's some strenuous shit. You ever thought about doing jiu-jitsu, Lennox?
He's scared of me. He won't do it.
Whoa.
Let me tell you, when I was growing up, I had friends that did wrestling, I had friends that did kickboxing, all these different mediums. And, we would always practice with them, whether it's wrestling, whether it's kicking, whether it's doing whatever, play fighting.
You did all that stuff?
Yeah. Because everybody always wants to test a boxer.
Right.
And say, well, how does he fare up against a karate guy? How does he fare up against a kickboxer? How does he fare up against a MMA guy?
Yeah.
They always fare financially better.
So, for me, I didn't really throw my weight around like that. It's like, don't mess with me. Okay, if you mess with me, something's going to happen. And then they don't really mess with me. I kind of carry myself like that,
right?
Because I'm so serious at sometimes, like they can sense the seriousness of it.
Serious, but still easy-going. So it's like, there's no reason to push you.
Right. I'm silent, but violent.
Ooh, I like that. silent, but violent. It is an interesting thing, though, about fighters is that when you think of exercise, as you're preparing for a big, violent event.
Yeah.
Whereas for most people, they just don't want to be fat. They want to look good. They want to get in shape. And, it's a lot of people on Instagram that are just working out really hard every day, but there's no reason.
Right.
You had a reason.
Yes.
Yeah. So when the reason's gone, it's like, now what?
How do I maintain this shape without maintaining that lifestyle?
Yeah.
You think of another reason.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody like you. You look good, by the way.
Thanks.
He does look good.
No,
Lennox has seen me since I was 147 pounds.
Really? You were 147 pounds at one point in time?
when I first started boxing, I was 147.
How old were you?
15.
Oh, okay.
I met him probably when I was 16.
Oh, really? No
Yeah.
kid. You guys have known each other that long?
Yeah. I know his parents.
Yeah.
Wow.
And his mom and his brothers. Everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
We go back. We're deep.
That's
a lot of
crazy.
people don't realize that. It was like, I see him as a big star now. I've seen him in movies and commercials, rescuing people. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this is the kid. He's grown up.
He's on TMZ.
I literally used to sell him mixtapes in the 90s. He was already world champ, and I'd be playing a mixtape. He'd go, yo, sell me that. And I'm like, I just made it. He's like, I'll give you $20. I'm like, You just made $100 million. Can't you give me $100?
Yeah, well, everybody was making tapes back then.
Yeah, you remember those days where people were aggressively trying to sell tapes on the streets?
I wasn't even trying to sell it. I was just playing it in my car, and he's like, "Yo, sell
No,
me
he
that."
had the new shit going on. That was he had the real shit. So I had to get it. I didn't have that contact to get the music, so he had the music contact. So
A lot of people don't know Russell's a legit DJ.
I reluctantly gave him
Legit.
those mixtapes.
Reluctantly. Yeah, it's a good move. When you see him wrestling with people on TMZ, you see that shit where they're
Man.
wrestling with the jewel thief.
I was trying to see what happened after. He didn't throw no punches though.
No,
I was coaching.
Arm
I was
bar?
yelling, "Get his neck! Get his fucking neck!"
If you watch it, you see I went for his arm to pull
Yeah.
down to get his neck.
Yeah.
And then the other guy in front of him pulled him down, and I couldn't get the neck.
Could you tell us what happened? I mean,
Yeah.
Explain what happened.
All I seen was a guy walking out, and you grabbed him.
No, if you
Here
watch
is.
it,
Let's
there it
watch
is.
it on
Here we go, here we go.
TMZ.
Okay, so here's
Russell
what happened. Let me
Peters.
tell you what happens. I'm there looking at a ring, right?
Yeah.
And that guy sitting down earlier had checked to see if the door was open. He went out to spit, and now he thinks the door's open. So now he thinks he's just going to get up and walk away with this ring. This is where he makes his little move. And then they lock the doors, and then I'm standing there, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, he takes a swing at my friend's father, and then I go, no. I try to get his neck, and that guy pulls him, you see?
There's a lot of opportunities to
Yeah.
get the neck there, son.
No, but I'm trying. He's a big, strong fucking guy, too.
No, you got to go over the top.
I was trying, but I had 3 layers on. I had a jacket, a sweatshirt, and a long sleeve shirt underneath.
That is an issue.
And then, so then I try to go for the arm, but everybody sees everybody's in my way. So I'm like, give me the arm. Just let me get the arm. Move, Dad. There's the
Amazing
arm.
that there you go.
Who's
Look
the guy
at
in
you.
the big chain? Who's the guy in the big chain?
That's Uncle David. And there I get the arm.
Who's the guy
now.
with the backward baseball
Now I'm
hat?
pushing the arm down, and you'll see I lock the wrist here. As soon as I lock the arm, he says okay.
Yeah,
Watch,
there you
he
go.
stops moving right there. He goes, okay.
Yeah.
And I got the wrist. You see the wrist
Yeah,
popped
the
up?
little wrist lock,
Yeah,
little Steven Seagal style.
That was my Fredson Paishal lock.
Oh, there you go. Wrist locks are legit. He got up again?
No. This is just a different angle.
Oh, different
I
angle.
want to know how far we was gonna make with a ring.
You see that wall where my cousin is hiding?
Yeah.
When he was trying to get out, he whacked his head against that wall,
Oh, no.
and he cut his ear open.
The thief?
Yeah,
So whatever happened to him?
he
Wind
got
up
arrested.
arresting him?
Cops
Where
came.
was this? In Toronto?
No, New York City,
No shit.
right in the jewelry district.
Wow.
So it's
Wow,
funny
you're a
that they
hero.
wouldn't. That's what a like ill planned out move. You don't
Yeah.
think that they know that people grab things and run away?
Well, there's that, and apparently this guy had been coming to the store for 6 months, scoping the place out.
Oh, that's
He
hilarious.
scoped it out poorly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, just silly.
Do you have to go to court or anything with that?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything since.
Do you worry
I
about
just
that?
put him in. All I was trying to do was hold him there because
Right.
all the doors were locked. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to get into a scrap with the guy. If I could just put him in a chokehold
Right.
or a lock, then until the cops come.
But the thing is, like, you could injure him. If you injure him, then they sue you. Believe it
Yeah.
or not.
Really?
Yeah, as ridiculous as it sounds.
How does that work?
Well, Russell's not really a law enforcement officer. I could see if you had...
I know, but it would have been dangerous for everybody in the store if he was running wild.
True.
Yeah. So
Oh, I mean, look, he's lucky you didn't crack him.
yeah,
You know?
I just locked him up and I said, all right. As soon as I locked him up, he goes, okay, and I go, okay, good. And then he had one knee down and one leg up, and I kicked that leg out so he'd be on both
Look at
knees.
you. Get rid of his base.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to move his base.
Move the base.
Okay, I got a question.
Okay.
Now, if the whole thing happened again, how would you do things different?
I would have told
good
everybody to get out of
question.
my way so I can get him in a choke and hold him.
Okay.
Would you just put him to sleep?
Yeah. Just put him to sleep, lay him down.
Yeah, lay him down,
Now,
tuck him in.
Yeah.
You went back home and obviously feel good about yourself. And did you kind of run the whole thing through your mind a couple of times, like, yo, this could have happened, or what could happen in this
No, I
situation?
started thinking after if he had a gun or if he had a
Yeah.
knife. But I'm like, if he had a gun, he would have pulled it out right away.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's not here to surprise you with a gun. He's here to scare you with the gun.
Well, if there's that many dudes on him, too, good luck pulling that gun out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of us would have got shot, but probably in the foot or
Probably
something.
not. If you probably got real urgent if you saw him reaching for something.
Yeah.
It would have changed
Yeah, I think knees to the head would have kicked.
everything. Everything.
I know. I watch a lot of karate movies. There's different things you could do, like. Whoop, whoop.
You ever
know?
want to practice karate? You ever want to do something different? That's why I was asking you about jiu-jitsu. Because,
Yeah.
when you're a world heavyweight champion boxer, after a while, like, what other shit can I learn?
I kept arm locking him when we were in England. I kept hugging him and putting him in an arm,
Yeah.
an arm lock.
great Bruce Lee fan. I love fighting movies, and martial arts has always been a part of my life. And I say that because every fight I fought, before I fought that fight, I watched a martial art movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what? Like Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, that kind of shit. Jackie Chan.
Deadly Venoms.
Oh, the real shit.
Yeah. So those kind of movies.
Carter Wong and type stuff,
Yeah, I like that, and that just got me in that mental state. Like
Do you watch MMA today?
Yeah.
Do you ever watch it and go, if this was around when I was fighting, would I do this?
The only thing I think about that, because like I said, I was in the wrestling I did wrestling when I was younger, and boxing as well. So I didn't know they could combine them two until I got older. But my focus was more on boxing. But if they get paid a lot of money, I probably would have done it.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people feel. I think like right now the money's not quite there. It's not quite. It's for some people like Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey,
Right.
but for the other folks, it's not enough to get a guy like Earl Spence to jump over.
Yeah.
No, and then I've seen some boxers actually good at boxing actually just win the fight on boxing because they're so good with their hands.
Yeah.
But your stance has to be different. You can't have your lead leg out in MMA. That's the problem.
Well, you can't stand it sideways. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to square up.
Your leg will get lit up.
I don't know. I stand sideways even in the fight because I know that I stick that leg out there for them to come at. And obviously, it's easy to grab a leg, but to me, I don't think fighting should start that way anyway. When you start fighting, usually punches are thrown quick and it lasts a couple seconds. Nobody really just goes for your legs unless they say, okay, I'm going to go for his legs and take him down.
No, but in the
Some
MMA,
guys
they
do.
kick your leg.
Yeah, they kick
Tell
your
you
leg.
can't walk.
The leg kicks are brutal. You ever been leg kicked?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
A guy hit me in
Horrible.
the leg one time and it's like, I couldn't move. And I'm like
Yeah.
thinking, if we got in a fight, kicked me in the leg and they gave me a dead leg like this, I don't know what I would do. So
Yeah, and if it's a guy like your size, like a Rico Verhoeven, like who's a Glory World Heavyweight Kickboxing Champion, they just keep their hands up and chew your legs up. One or two shots to your legs, and it's a horrible feeling. Like everything, it's like doesn't move right. It's like it just gives
And they
out.
hit you
on
right on the side of your knee. Ugh.
Oh,
well, you know what?
You know what he used to do?
You guys look like you've accepted that. I was like, I go mad.
Yeah?
Someone kicks me in my leg and it's like, yo, you kicked me in my leg.
I don't think anybody's kicking you in your leg anymore.
did you ever see when Shannon the Cannon tried some kickboxing?
No.
Shannon Briggs fought Tom Erickson.
Oh, he
who's
got
a
the shit
MMA
beat out of him,
fighter.
didn't he?
No, he fucked him up.
Really?
Shannon got leg kicked though, and he said he Shannon talks, he's hilarious. He goes, champ, it hurt so bad, but I tried to play it off, champ. he got hit with one leg kick, and then he got hit with another one, but he touched him with like a jab to the body, and Tom Erickson got a little cocky. Here it is right here. He fought when he was in like this transitionary period and they offered him a lot of money, like right there he got leg kicked by this guy. And the guy Tom Erickson that he fought is really more of a wrestler. He kicked him twice, and then Shannon he actually broke it down for us on the podcast, but he said his leg was hurting so bad and he tried to goad the guy into thinking that he could punch with him. See, he got hit again. He's like, oh Jesus.
He's letting him hit. I would knock that guy out.
Yeah, but you'd think you would just let him do that. But once you get hit with one of those things like that, it's so crippling to your leg. You don't move right.
No, you're right. Because like I said, I got hit there and I was like, my leg couldn't move.
The thing is that
you put him
Erickson
to sleep.
fucked up.
Huh?
You put Shannon to sleep, didn't you?
Yeah. It was a great fight too.
Erickson tried to box with him for some strange reason. He got into this crazy idea, like right there. Boom, he got clipped.
Good night.
Yeah, and that's it.
He's got the one.
Chill, champ, chill.
Was that kickboxing?
Yes,
Okay,
kickboxing, because they're wearing gloves. Like
And no
boxing
shoes.
gloves, no shoes.
Aren't you supposed? Isn't Shannon Briggs supposed to at least kick a couple times?
Well, if he knew how to, but I think he went into there thinking, I'll just crack him with a punch and knock him out, which he did. He ate a couple of leg kicks, but it's hilarious when you hear him break it down. How old are you now?
Who, me?
Yeah,
I'm under 100.
under 100.
Yeah, under 100.
But you can't be any more than 45, 47? How old
Thank
are you?
you very
look
much.
good.
Thank you very much.
Are you older than that? 50?
Wow,
don't wanna say?
You're a great guy.
You don't want to say how old you are?
People have internet out there, so they'll just look
How
it up.
old is he? 53?
Yep.
You look great.
Thank you.
You do, right? Doesn't he?
He's always looked good.
But when you were like you were one of those guys who did the smart. You retired and you just retired.
Yes.
You know, which is I respect so much. We were just talking about Marvin Hagler the other day.
That's the man.
When Marvin Hagler retired, he's like, "Good night. Take care, everybody." Lost a controversial decision to Sugar Ray Leonard. He said,
1987.
"Take care. I'm gonna go do some movies," and that was it. He just never came back. And it is so rare that a fighter does that.
Well, you know what?
Marvin was disheartened like a motherfucker with boxing, though. He hated it. He was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, boxers go through so much. And it's like when they know when it's time, when a boxer says it's time to quit, they know it's time because they've gone through so much and they realize that it's a lot of hard work. For me, I've been boxing since I've been 15. So, you know, in training, hundreds of hours training, hundreds of hours working out, resting, working on technique, sparring, all these different things. After a while, you know, you have to reach that height where you say, okay, that's enough. And sometimes, you know, people, managers and trainers and promoters, they don't want to tell the boxer that's enough because that's how much they're making money off of that boxer every time he steps in the ring.
Right.
So,
did you have a conversation with Emmanuel Stewart about it?
absolutely.
Yeah. And who made the decision? Did you guys make it together?
I made the decision. He wanted me actually to go on.
Really?
Yeah, because I wanted to, you know, Tyson was my main nemesis, and you know, he's a boxer that I definitely wanted to fight before retiring, and I didn't know if it was going to happen or not. So I actually stuck around for a couple more years for that fight to happen, because I didn't want throughout history people would be saying, "Oh, Tyson would have won," or "Lewis would have won." I wanted them to know who would have won.
Right.
And then after that, after the Tyson fight, you know, Manny said, "Listen, Klitschko's are around. That's the new generation. You can beat the guys from this generation and the guys from the next generation." I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. So he kind of talked me into doing that fight because I wasn't really going to do that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, that was a year after Tyson, and I didn't really want to box him straight away. I wanted to box somebody else because the main nemesis was Tyson. And, you know, once I beat Tyson, you know, I could relax a little bit. I relaxed for a year. And then getting back into boxing, I boxed. Klitschko was my first fight, which was a mistake. Took the fight 17 days notice. At my worst, I beat him at his best.
Why was it such a short notice fight?
Because the opponent that I actually picked to fight didn't want to fight me. He actually said no.
Who was that supposed to be?
Johnson from
Kirk Johnson from Nova Scotia.
From Nova Scotia.
And you were doing him a favor.
I think Klitschko felt that he was doing him a favor. Listen, let me take the fight. I've been training for 2 years for this guy. I'm ready, and then we'll give you the first shot after I win. That's what was promised to him.
Vitaly has such a weird style, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and that's that kickboxing style coming into play a little bit because he would throw a punch and lean back like this, and that's the first time I've actually seen that style.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I didn't reach out with my right hand as far as I did, I would never have caught him with that cut. Mm-hmm. And it was that long right hand that caught him just at the end of my punch when he leaned back and he couldn't lean back anymore, that made his eye cut.
Yeah, he was a very strange fighter in terms of his style. Just the way hands were always down. There's a very weird way of moving, very unorthodox.
Yeah.
Because he was such a big guy. He was 6'7".
Yeah.
He was probably the biggest guy you fought, right?
Yeah.
Could take a hell
You
of
never
a shot.
fought. You never fought Gonzalez, did you?
Michael Grant was big. Gonzalez, I boxed in the Olympics.
Jorge Luis Gonzalez. That was his name, right?
Yeah.
Cuban guy.
Yep.
They are. Look how weird the way he fights is. Just such an awkward way of moving.
He hit me good with the right hand there, so I held on. See me holding him around the neck? I learned that from Muhammad Ali. He said, if you hold a guy around the neck, you can tell when he's going to move.
Wow.
But he was good in the first few rounds. After the first
jab.
3 rounds, what people don't realize about this fight, I wasn't fighting for 12 rounds. I was fighting to knock this guy out.
Because you had it in your mind.
Yeah,
that was
I had
a
it in
strategy
mind.
going into
This is the first time you ever see me going forward in the fight. This guy's bigger than me. I'm coming forward, and I'm throwing punches. He's catching me, but those were the early rounds.
Although he's 2 inches taller than you, you look bigger than him.
He's a big fella.
Physically.
Yeah, you're wider. You know, when you look back on your career, like, do you have like a most satisfying victory?
Yeah.
What is it?
I seen Rockman.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say the rematch.
The first
Yeah.
or the second?
The second one, motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
You Wally.
When a guy beats you like that, and then you know you could have beaten him or you should have beaten him, is that what bothered you so much?
No, you know what really bothered me is the fact that I gave him an opportunity. I gave him a fight when I'm basically waiting for Tyson, and I have to keep busy. I'm looking down the list of who to fight. He's number 7. I realized that he's durable. He's not one of these guys that get knocked out easy. So I wanted to give my fans, a proper fight. Box the best guy out there, not box the easy guy that's easy to get knocked out. I don't want to go home in 2 rounds. So, and then another reason, a lot of people don't know, I went to Africa to fight because Muhammad Ali went to Africa. He fought in Africa. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to fight in Africa. If, I say, I'm a world champion, so I need to fight all around the world. So that's what made me go to Africa. The only thing about Africa is I didn't know that it was such a high altitude up there. And for me to have a fight, I should have got there a lot earlier, but I was doing Ocean's 11 at that time. People said, oh, you were doing a movie. I wasn't doing no movie. I was sitting around half the time waiting for them to change the lights, then go out there for 2 minutes and then go back and sit there for another 2 hours while they change the lights. So
Were you training at all when that was happening?
yeah, I was training, but it wasn't the conditions of training. I needed a bag, I needed sparring partners, I needed to be up there a lot sooner.
So you're just kind of
acclimatized.
exercising.
Yes,
How many thousand feet was it above sea level?
higher than Big Bear.
It was Cape
Really?
Town, right?
So more than 6?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because when I start working out, I was like throwing punches. Then I found myself going, so I had to take 2 steps back, and I'm like, oh, no, don't tell me this fight's going to be one of those fights where I have to take my time. So I basically went out there taking my time. I realized he's dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with, although he was there a lot earlier. But, I had a couple things going wrong, boxing at 4 a.m. They couldn't find a big enough ring. Then when they put the ring together, it was like 18 by 19. So, and then the punch that actually hit me, I actually thought I was gonna block it, but it came around this side. I put my hand up to block it, but it came around, hit me. One of those things where a man threw a terrific punch, which my chin happened to be in the way of.
What is it like when that's over and you're sitting there and you know you lost, but you know that under the right circumstances, this guy is not at your level?
In fact, my problem was solved before I got out of the ring. I knew what I did wrong, which was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It's like, on another day, he wouldn't throw a lucky punch like that. It wouldn't hit me, and he wouldn't have a ref that, was on his side as well.
How was the ref on his side?
When I say the ref's on his side,
He called it a little early, I would say.
I got knocked down in the second round. I'm the champion.
Right.
At least give me a chance. Not wave the fight straight away.
Right.
Right. You seen the Deontay Tyson Fury fight. If that was the ref, he would have counted him out straight away.
Yeah, that's
Probably
a
would
good
have stopped
point.
it at the press conference.
That fucking 12th round, that right left that
was
Deontay
insane.
landed, the fact that Tyson got up and then won the remainder of the round, that is crazy.
Yeah.
I am so frustrated that fight's not happening again.
Man, I'm looking at the heavyweight scene, and I'm looking at obviously Joshua from England, and he had the opportunity to fight Deontay and didn't take it. I'm like, if that was me, I would have took that chance, because you never know what happens down the road, like what's happening now. And to me, he's being put on the shelf. Now he has to box somebody that nobody really wants him to box.
Who's he fighting next?
Baby Miller.
Oh, Big Baby Miller?
Big Baby Miller.
Yeah.
Big Baby Miller, I haven't seen too much of him. I don't know too much about him, but he talks a good fight. I know he weighed over 300 pounds at one time.
He's a big baby.
And now he's got an opportunity to fight Joshua, so he's taking full advantage of it, like he should. But I don't see anything in his history to show me that he can beat Joshua. Who have you beaten?
He can bang though.
he can bang if you're there to bang. Joshua's got feet. He's gonna move. He's not gonna stay there and bang.
Yeah, he's an
He's
excellent boxer.
Yeah, he's gonna be a smart boxer in this fight.
Allegedly. We'll see, right?
I mean,
never know.
Yeah, I mean, these are one of those things where I think this is where Anthony's got to be extra careful because Miller's going to train twice as hard, and if Joshua doesn't train like he's fighting Deontay,
Right.
he may take it for granted, make a mistake.
And you can do that. I've done that. I've done that. It's nothing. It's nothing that he's done on purpose. It's not. It's like
It's a mental thing.
yeah, it's a mental thing.
Like when you fought Mavrovich,
yeah,
that guy wouldn't go home.
wouldn't go home.
That guy wouldn't go home.
He gave me a lot of trouble.
I was at that fight.
Gave me a lot of trouble.
Lennox boxed this guy around the ring for 12 rounds, like literally the guy's head snapping back,
Yeah.
and this guy's not going
Would not go
anywhere.
down. Yeah.
He was going nowhere.
That's got to be a weird feeling too when you know how hard you punch and you see a guy just eating them. Like some people just are built weird. They just
Yeah.
can take a shot.
No, I learned that coming up. I learned that some guys that are tough to the head are weak to the body. Some guys are tough to the body, weak to the head.
And some guys are just made out of rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like ignorant bliss. They just don't know they're supposed to feel pain.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I really think it's a physiological thing. I think some guys can just take a shot. They're just built better.
The whole
Sometimes
night.
I've been in fights where I've gone in, a man's hit me on the chin first couple minutes, and it's like it just glanced off my chin. I ate it up. Ate the punch up, and it didn't hurt me. And it was like, what happened to that punch? It was so hard. It hit you on the chin. Everybody was saying, yo, did you see that punch? You never felt it? I'm like, no. And when I look at tape of it, it's like, wow, I did get hit.
Is it because, are there a bunch of factors, like how much you got hit in training, how well you feel coming into the fight, where you're at in your career?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors. Like, for instance, let me give you a wicked factor. If you haven't boxed for 2 years, and all of a sudden you step into the ring, and it's a title fight, and you box, the first good hit you get is going to concuss you.
Really?
Because you haven't been getting those hits for that 2 years. Now this man hit you with the 2 years, and you're getting used to it, and you felt it, and you've gotten over it. You need to get over that hill.
Is it a mental hill?
It is a mental hill because even for me, when I haven't fought for a while, I go out there until I get hit. Once I get hit, that wakes everything up. It's like, yo, this is not supposed to go like that. You're not supposed to hit me. I'm supposed to hit you. So I get going.
So the Hasim Rahman fight, after it was over, were you worried that you were not going to get a rematch?
Yes, I was very worried. In fact, we chased him to 3 courts around the world, and he didn't want to fight me. And I if I was in this position, I wouldn't want to fight me either because I'm coming back for revenge. Plus, there's a big money fight out there with Tyson, which he so happened to say after the fight, "No more Lewis Tyson, no more Lewis Tyson," and he actually left South Africa without visiting Mandela. Like, why you go to Africa and not visit Mandela? I did.
He just wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, he
Take
just
that belt.
Yeah.
and that $7 million that he got off of Don King. So the fight got made again because after the third courtroom, the judge says, "Whose signature is this?" Hasim said it was his. "You signed it?" "Yes." "Well, you got to give him the rematch. You signed it to give him a rematch, so you have to give him a rematch." So he didn't want to hear that. So I was happy. Got the rematch.
How long did it take?
2 years.
2 years. Wow.
And there was all those brawls in remember the ESPN studio when him and Rahman got into a fight?
Yeah, that's
They knocked
right.
over the table and everything.
Yeah.
Lennox was wearing his big Steve Harvey suit.
Did you? Steve Harvey.
Let me tell you, it was a Steve Harvey suit too, because I had the slipperiest shoes in the world. I didn't come there to fight.
Right,
I came
right.
there to do press.
Those slippery shoes are the worst. If anything goes down, you got those leather-soled shoes.
Oh, yeah, you're done.
Oh, my God. On carpet, whoop, you just your legs just give out.
Rockman went. I went.
That's when you got to learn jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Now, when you were in that time period, I don't remember. Did you have fights in between?
Yeah.
How many fights did you have after Rockman?
Oh no, I didn't have no fights
No
in between.
fights in between.
No, I
No.
just trained for Rockman.
Just waited.
Yeah.
So it took you 2 years.
2 years.
God, that must have been so frustrating.
It was because you never know if you're gonna get the fight or not, or these guys are running from you. They signed to fight a rematch because now they didn't want to sign it.
I remember when that right hand landed. I remember when I was watching it at home and I threw my arms up in the air. I was like, oh shit, yes.
Rockman went to sleep,
Boom!
sleep,
But it was
sleep.
a hammer. Let's check this out, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time coming, you're waiting for it.
You know, for this fight, Rockman couldn't catch me because my speed was different. You know, in South Africa, it was a lot slower. Now he got kind of a little frustrated because he couldn't
Here
catch
it is.
me.
Boom!
Yep.
Oh man!
Now
over the top of the shoulder.
I got Joe Cortez, let him count still.
Oh, that was a phenomenal punch. That was probably one of the most satisfying one-punch knockouts I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Because I knew what you had gone through, and I knew, like, everybody knew you were one of the greatest of all time.
Man.
And then to have you get KO'd like that, first of all, it endeared people to you in a way, because it showed your vulnerability, but also your character and your ability to come back, which is not easy, man. When you get stopped like that, like, psychologically, it's got to be fucking with your head.
Let me tell you, the first time I lost, everybody was coming up and shaking my hand and said, well, what are you going to do now? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I going to do now? Yeah, well, what you going to do now? I'm going to go back and win my championship. I said, okay. You know, they didn't think it was going to be possible, but I'm thinking Muhammad Ali gained the championship 3 times.
Yeah.
So I've only lost it once. I can do it again. It takes a special person to do it, and I can do it.
Do you feel like there was like 2 stages of your career, like pre-Emmanuel Stewart and then post?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's 2 sizes of him too. Then, if you look at and serves like he went from like a skinny kid to a man, like a just giant fucking man out of nowhere.
Yeah, the pre Emmanuel Stewart was obviously, you know, me learning how to be a professional, learning to fight pro, and then once I got to Emmanuel, we just like, he said, hey, you're a great fighter. You know, you used to move around a lot. We've got to bring that back. I'm like, okay, cool. So the movement he brought back, he taught me a couple Kronk tricks, you know, that check hook and different things that the Kronk fighters do, which works well. You know, he was easy to understand. And what I liked about him, what he said, I could accomplish. He just told me what to do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
If he said, Len, we need to win this round, I'll win that round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you had that kind of relationship, right?
Yeah.
He was really one of the great masters. You know, there's certain masters when it comes to like boxing training. Like when you would hear him discuss fighters, like I really loved hearing him do commentary as well.
Yeah.
Because he would discuss fighters and what they need to do, and he was always just dead on. He just knew things. He understood boxing so comprehensively. He just knew what a fighter needed to do. So I was so excited when he started working with you because I was like, well, that's exactly what Lennox needs.
So was HBO because, you know, it's funny. I'll do fights on HBO and they would say, oh, he's doing this, he's not doing this, he needs to do more, he needs to throw the jab more. Then Emmanuel started working for me and it's like, oh, he's doing the jab, he's doing well. I was like, oh, this is what you need. You need a great coach. Anytime you're going on TV that the commentators respect, then they'll talk good about the boxer. But if you're not a good trainer, it's like, what do they need to talk about?
They talk a lot of shit in boxing commentary.
Oh yeah, they let you know whose side they're on.
Yeah, yeah.
They always let you know. You could tell by how they're guiding your brain to watch the fight.
Well, they talk a little shit. It's more like sports commentary, like mixed martial arts commentary. I don't do that. I don't really talk shit ever. I mean, I occasionally, if something's egregiously bad, I'll talk about there's real issues here.
Yeah.
But I try to just address
You're very
it
neutral.
technically.
I try to compliment both of them.
I try hard at that because I wasn't always. You know, I'd learned how to do it on the job. Nobody really knew how to do. There wasn't a lot of people doing it before I started doing it.
Well, it sucks for you because you're friends with all the fighters.
Yeah. It's hard when you watch a friend of yours fuck up another friend of yours.
Yeah.
That's hard.
What about a friend of yours that's doing something wrong that needs to do something right? Do you tell him?
Yeah, I tell them privately.
See,
Mostly.
for me, I wish I was like that. I wish I could do that. But, you know, people want more truth out of me. So I try and bring it across in a soft way and not make it too harsh.
I would say there's issues, like I see something, if I see like a vulnerability, I'll discuss that. But if there's something that someone needs to work on or do, I'll try to pull them aside, you know. But most of them know, you know, they're, you know, like MMA fighters, I'm sure a lot like boxers, like there's different kinds of humans and some of them are just fucking wild. And those wild ones, you know, a lot of times they never become champion, but they're the most exciting people to watch. Like Mickey Ward. Like Mickey Ward's fights with Arturo Gatti, they're some of the greatest because they were the way they matched up. I would never want one of my friends to fight like that.
Yeah, two lunatics in one ring.
Oh my God, man, those fights were chaos. Though everybody knew that those guys they're never going to beat Mayweather. They're never going to beat the best guys. But God damn, they were fun to watch.
Yeah.
Some of the craziest.
They were like our
craziest
generation's prior Arguello almost.
Almost, except they went back and forth and back and forth. You know,
Who was it that had an arm injury and still boxed? Was it Mickey Ward?
No, wasn't it Bernard Hopkins when he fought Antoine Eccles? I might be wrong.
you mean like a permanent, like a broken arm? Someone got their arm broke in a.
Or pulled out?
I think that was it was Antoine Eccles. It might have been against Hopkins or it was against somebody, but the guy had picked him up and slammed him, and he
that's
dislocated
right,
his shoulder.
right. But
and then the ref was like, "Should I stop the fight?" He's like, "No." And he knocked the guy out with a left hook after.
But
he just kept beating him with his left hand.
Hopkins got slammed, and they stopped the fight, and then he came back and won the rematch. Remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I recall the guy knocking him out in the next round with his left hand only.
Was that Hopkins?
It might have been Hopkins Eccles, if I'm not
I'll tell you what,
mistaken.
man. One of the hardest fights for me to watch was Hopkins versus Joe Smith.
That was
When
a
he got
bummer.
knocked out and fell out of the ropes and landed on his head. I was like, man, that is just. First of all, the fact that there was no padding on the ground. This
Yeah.
is goddamn. This is Bernard Hopkins. It's one of the greatest of all time, and this is how this is set up. And
They don't put padding on the ground.
they need to have something there, like
No,
maybe
they
more
need
of
to-
an apron.
No, they have to.
Well, there's the tables.
They have to put more people
Right.
around the ring. So
Right.
anybody comes flying out, it's like, yo.
Well, that's how they do it in Japan.
Yeah?
Like in Pride, they would have guys like waiting by the side of the ring to stop guys from falling out of the ring because they would use rings, which I don't recommend for MMA. There's pros and cons. The pro is that the cage kind of like you can kind of hold a guy against the cage.
yeah.
You can't really hold a guy very well against ropes. Here it is right here. See, he fell, boom, like right on his head, man. I mean, I think that's concrete.
Yeah, it is.
He went through, fell
And if
right
somebody
on his
helps
head.
you up, the fight's over.
Yeah,
Yo,
is that
Bruno's-
it?
Yeah, you get disqualified the minute somebody helps you back into the ring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to get up on your own and get back in on your own.
People didn't know about that. Hey, you're good.
Oh, that's interesting.
Little details,
So
kids.
they
It's
could
like-
have ruined the fight for him if he was okay.
Yeah.
Like if he was okay, if he fell and then someone helps him get back up.
Yeah.
The tech. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Somebody be shouting, "Don't touch him! Don't touch
Yeah.
him! Get up!" But nobody
Bernard.
knows if he's all right or not.
Right. Especially when you see him land on
It's
his head.
human nature to run and help.
Well, it's
Yeah.
also he's 50 or 51.
Yeah, he was-
right.
yeah.
Wasn't he 51?
Yeah, he was not young
Yeah.
in that fight.
When you see a guy like him, like how the fuck does a guy like that defy the odds and defy time? I mean, it's just his skill level,
Experience, intelligence.
And-
Bernard Hopkins is an intelligent fighter. He's like, you watch him fight, he's smart.
Yeah,
And doesn't spend one day out of shape.
yeah, and
Yeah.
eats clean and
Yep.
doesn't party. Yeah, he still to this day. I follow his Instagram. He's always training. He's always exercising. Still looks slim. Still looks good.
Yeah,
He's got true focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he became that way, like in his estimation, because of prison time. Going to prison turned him into a disciplined man. Like realizing like this is rock bottom. I fucked up. I need to get my life in order.
Yeah.
And did. And
Imagine the people out there that commit a crime, spend 3-4 years in jail because of some stupid crime. They could spend that time training and being a world champion at something.
Yeah, at anything. Well, just develop. Use that time to develop yourself, develop your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when Hopkins they were already writing him off when he fought Felix Trinidad. Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thought Trinidad was going to run him
Do
over.
you remember the shit he pulled in Puerto Rico? In that
Oh,
fight?
man, that was
He ripped the flag
He
apart.
threw the flag,
Oh
and
my
they chased him through the
God.
stadium.
Oh my God!
And he had to make that like 6 or 7 foot jump
Yeah.
to the ground, and he was scared he was going to break his leg.
It's hilarious. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was crazy.
They chased him out of the stadium.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Tito had so much on his mind in that fight, so much emotions, and then
That was the mental warfare that Bernard brought into that one.
for sure, but then also he was just too good.
Yeah.
He was too good. I mean, he was too big. He hit too hard. Like Trinidad really was a lighter weight fighter than that.
Yeah, it was a junior middleweight. Right?
Yeah.
Bruno did that same thing. Almost got done too.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
whoa.
exactly. Threw it down. Oh man, that was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. And this was I think Bernard was like 36 at the time. Look at him; they're all swinging at him and shit.
That's that jump he had to do right there.
He was trying to get out of there for real.
If he just turned, they would have stopped. If he turned and went, they would have probably went, "Oh, what am I doing? Chasing a tiger?"
Yeah.
You chase a tiger and you catch it, you got a real fucking problem. Did you ever have any thoughts at all once you'd finally retired? Like, maybe one more. Did you ever have any thoughts like that?
Well, I told people like I'll take my pajamas off for $100 million.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if
tell
they
that
really
to play
rolled
ground.
out
Yeah,
the
so if
cash.
you're serious, come with it, baby. Show me the paper.
But
So
who
you always
would that
held
have
it.
to be against? AJ, maybe?
No, me and
Well, no,
Tyson
back
again.
then.
you and Tyson again?
Tyson,
No,
yeah.
no.
But when you had beaten Tyson, you'd beat Tyson that was kind of at the end of his stage too, right?
Yeah,
He wasn't the same guy.
like I looked at Tyson's history. He's coming from the same history that I'm coming from. And he spent some time in incarceration. While he was in incarceration, I'm still out there fighting and training hard. He didn't have that
Right.
in there. So when he came out, it's like he's training again. He's doing what he knows, not what he loves,
Right.
but what he knows. That's what's going to make him some money. That's going to put food on his table. So it's like I look at old time fighters and say, what made them stay in boxing so long? That's the only thing they knew.
Right.
They're not going to be no singer or dancer or whatever. They only know boxing, and this is where they get their money from. So that's what forces them back into the ring.
Especially olden days. That's why they were called prize fighters, because they wouldn't make enough money to make a living unless you were like a Jack
Right.
Dempsey or a
Ray Robinson.
Ray Robinson.
But even
or a
Ray
Jake
Robinson
LaMotta.
fought way, way, way past his prime.
Yeah, again, because they were making good money at the time, but not the money that they would have been making if it was today.
Well, there was no. I mean, you had to go see it live. Like how much did you get paid for the radio?
Who was that?
When they're playing
Was
the
it
fight on the radio?
was it Jack Dempsey, Gene Tunney that was the first $1 million gate?
I think so.
It was one of those. Ray Arcel
Yeah.
did that fight, I think.
Isn't that crazy? What is $1 million back then, too?
That's a lot of money back then. So it was in the 1920s, right?
yeah.
Did you say Jack
Gene Tunney, Jack
Gene?
Dempsey?
Yes, Gene Tunney.
Yeah.
When Tyson was in jail, he must have been doing something because he came out jacked. Like he looked good. Like he came out looking different than he ever looked. Like 6-pack, fully built.
When he fought Peter McNeely, he
Oh my
looked
god,
scary as
he looked
shit.
terrifying. But like physically, he looked really good too. Like he looked better than he ever looked. Like
Yeah.
more ripped than ever. So
And when he went in, he was a little chubby.
yeah, so he's
Well, what is there to do in there?
Yeah, it's nothing else
lift
to do.
weights,
Yeah, so
fuck dudes. That's what I hear. I don't know.
I mean, how many dudes before it's enough? You know?
Depends on how much time you're in there for. Yeah, that was him when he came out. Yeah, he was shredded.
yeah,
He was so much more muscular. So he probably couldn't do any sparring. I doubt they had a heavy bag, but they probably had a weight room.
yeah. But you can fight. You can fight in prison.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like 28, 29 there.
It depends on what prison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying even fight. Just fight.
Oh, fight people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Somebody would have tried to start some shit with
Oh,
him.
I'm sure.
If not
somebody
a guard
did.
even, you know?
Yeah, I bet he had to listen to a lot of shitty things from guards.
It's funny when I seen him be arrested, taken from the courtroom, and they must have got the biggest guy they could ever get to go put handcuffs on him or something like that. Anyway, situation that
Yeah.
I hope a lot of people stay away from.
Yeah, when he went away, did you feel like, damn it, like I'm going to miss out on that fight that I want?
Yes, straight away. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to wait and delay my retirement.
Oh, so you were considering retirement even before he was incarcerated?
Yeah,
Wow, interesting.
But then you
So
were
how-
chasing the bow fight.
bow fight, chicken bow. You figured that
Chicken bow. Is that what you called him?
yeah, chicken
You
bow.
called him ridiculous bow.
ridiculous bow, chicken bow. Tried to pick a fight with me the other day.
Did he really?
The other
Yeah.
day he did?
Yeah,
Where?
at a fight. It was in L.A. where they called all the great ones on. Jerry Cooney, me, Foreman, Spinks was there.
And what was he doing?
He wanted to stand beside me and take a picture. I'm like, dude, you can't stand beside me. He go, I'll stand where I want to stand. I'm like, dude, you're going to have to move. So Jerry Cooney kind of helped us out there.
Wow.
And saved him.
Because he
he's
can't
had
really
a rough
speak.
time.
Yeah, he can't.
He's had a rough time. Yeah, the difference between a guy like you who gets out, who speaks perfect, and a guy like him, he's the warning. You know, that's the warning to the young fighter. You know, you see the older guy who, you know, I saw an interview with him, and it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. It was horrible because I go back and I think about those fights with Holyfield, those fucking crazy wars.
Those were insane.
And you know, he paid that price, man. He paid that price. And you can hear it when he's talking now. It's rough. It's hard to listen to.
I think the good news is now we're on the other side of fighters coming out that punchy. I think with all the rules and changes that have been made.
What changes?
You won't meet as many punchy guys as you met from back in the day. Like you listen to Purnell, you listen to Riddick, you listen to Meldrick Taylor. You listen to a lot of guys.
Is Purnell bad now?
Yeah, he's a little. And Purnell never even got hit that much.
He was the best.
But I think Purnell's is probably more from. You know,
cocaine makes you slur your words.
I don't know, man. You know, you do enough shit in your life.
He drinks a lot.
Oh, is it drinking?
I got drunk with Purnell once.
Well, there's a lot of one of the things that they say with older fighters is, and even older football players, is they become addicted to alcohol because like they're searching for something to try to like recalibrate their brain. You know, I mean, there's a scientific explanation to it that people talk about. People with traumatic brain injury often become alcoholics. It's like they're trying to get some sort of a dopamine rush out of it.
You could also use the alcohol as a justification as to why you're slurring your speech.
Well, I know a dude who's a MMA fighter he's punchy. He's had a bunch of shots, and this motherfucker will have one drink, and you can't understand a word he's saying.
Yeah, I got
it hits them so hard. It's like it's confusing. It's like how are you that drunk? And then you realize, this is both things. It's both things. It's the brain damage and the alcohol combined. Just the wheels come off the carry.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's awful. But you made it out perfect, man. You nailed it.
So far. Yeah, years will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you worry about that?
Not really. I try and keep my mind active. I play a lot of chess.
Yeah. How often do you play chess?
Every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you play online? Do you play competitively?
I play online.
Yeah.
It's whoever jumps in the battle.
How good are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, pretty good.
He's a bully.
Did he play you?
He is, no. He used to get mad at me because I'd go to his house and he'd be like, you want to play chess? I go, I don't know. Just play. And I'm like, I don't know how I'd play. Just beat me. And he'd be like, get out of here. Just move. Bring me someone who can play.
Do you study chess?
Not as much as I should. I just play often. And, when you play often, there's, people will come out with the same moves. And it's like, oh, I've seen this move before. I know what to do.
Right.
But, it depends. There's people that use their pawns to wage war, use their knights or their bishops in combination. So it really depends on what type of player they are. You're right. I'm a bully player. I like playing.
Yeah, you know what? He is the Joe Rogan of pool to Lennox of chess.
Well, listen. In my defense, Lennox challenged me. He wanted to play.
I was standing
he thought
there.
He could play.
Yeah.
Just so people know.
Don't challenge anybody on their own table.
Lennox challenged Joe to a game of pool before the podcast, and Joe fucking cleared the table before Lennox could get one shot off.
Yeah, it was good. It was that was the warm up.
Well, I won the second game too, so
yeah, he did win the second game as well.
I'm still warming up.
All right, we'll go back. After
he's got time deficit.
That's a crazy game though on that table because that table has 4-inch pockets.
Yeah.
That's my practice table.
I'll show you a 4-inch pocket.
Hey,
wait a minute.
Whoa, where are you putting it? I have a regular table at home. Well, not a regular table. It's a diamond. It's got 4.5-inch pockets. It's still a little tight. A normal pocket, like if you go to a pool hall, they'll give you a 5-inch pocket or a 5.5-inch pocket.
Yeah, I got a pool table at home. It's got fucking
buckets.
I got the abyss.
Yeah, this table you can't miss, and it's dirty right now too. So it's even like the cloth is slow, so balls don't drop unless they go right through the center.
What type of cloth is that?
Blood clot.
Yes, that's the best. That's the best one.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a great table. That's a 1972 pool table.
Oh, really?
Some guy had it in his basement forever, and my friend Donnie sold it to me. Yeah, the guy just had it sitting in his basement. I mean, it's in perfect condition.
It's a basement find.
Yeah, man, that's a hard table to get. It's a gold
where
crown
was this?
too. Somewhere in California.
You know what I love about that table?
What?
Guess what?
What?
You don't have to walk around and take the balls out of the pockets.
Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah.
It's like
ball return.
they're all there. Boom.
Yeah, those holes when you have to
Yeah, I got
walk
those.
around.
I got those.
It's annoying. But you probably have like a decorative pool table.
Yeah,
You're
it came with the
wonderful.
house.
You have a beautiful house. Decorative
I've never
table.
been there.
Well,
Yeah.
you've been invited many
Oh.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
He's been to my house when I lived with my parents. He never come to my house as a solo man.
Now, when you play chess, are you like? Do you get ranked? Are you in like a league?
Well, what it is your points go up. So I'm at 11,000 right now. Sorry.
What is that like?
Well,
What's
the
that
rankings
like?
are like if you're up to 14, you're a master. 15,
So you're closing in on being a master.
Well, I wouldn't call me a master yet, but obviously, if I get that, I'm trying to get as high as possible.
But if someone talks shit and they're like, Lennox, I want to play you some chess, you'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like, you're
straight
confident. Yeah.
away.
What's one of the
Table-
most mentally intensive games? It's probably one reason why you stay so sharp.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, there's a time restriction, 10 minutes.
So you played that where you slap the clock?
Yeah, well,
10 minutes for a move or 10 minutes for the whole game?
for the whole game.
Oh, damn.
Whoa.
On the
It's a fast game.
yeah, on the computer,
Fuck.
once you've made that move, the time goes over. It just resets, so it's good.
Now, do you ever go like to Washington Square Park and play those dudes?
Done.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
They talk a lot of shit, huh?
Oh yeah, they're good too. They're good. The guy I was playing was talking a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you beat him?
Oh no.
Wow.
You should have hit him.
Why did you have to ask that question? It was just fun playing him.
Wait,
Does it
when
have
you're-
to be a winner all the time?
Those guys are masters.
yeah,
true.
these guys
I
are
mean,
good.
They got nothing else going on.
Well, I mean, that's all they want to do. I mean, when you get really good at chess, and I'm not really good at chess, but I have friends that are, they explain to you, like, it becomes your whole life. Like, you start thinking, like, as you're walking on the street, you're thinking about chess. It becomes a thing where it's just everything. It's such an intense game.
Yeah, I play like at least 4 games a day.
Wow.
Online?
Damn.
Yeah. 10
What's your
minutes.
online name?
Lennox
do you use an
motherfucking
online name?
Lewis.
Yes, I do.
You don't use your real name, right?
I'm gonna get it right now. It's
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Let the
I like-
shalom.
because I made this name long time ago.
Look at you. There you
I
go.
am, Washington Square Park.
Look at that. Playing some master.
Is that MC Supernatural?
No, I don't know who that is.
Those dudes love that game, though, man. I mean, there's those guys who are there. If you go there, they'll be there every day. They fucking live for it. It's one of those things I really admire. I really admire people that get really, really good at chess.
Inter 2000.
Inter 2000.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
it was supposed to be Interpol 2000.
Interpol
Yeah.
2000. Why?
But it's just like the name Interpol. It sounds official when people when people are playing it's Interpol. I think this is the government I'm playing. You know what I mean?
right.
It's the European CIA.
So if you're out there and you're playing Inter 2000, you're playing Lennox motherfucking Lewis.
Yeah, I was gonna put my real name, but
Yeah.
I don't want everybody to try and beat the champ.
Well, now they're going to try
Champ's
to beat the
retired
champ.
right now.
Let it be known that Lennox Lewis is one of those dudes that walks around with no case on his iPhone, too.
And it's smashed.
Is it smashed? Oh, you broke it.
If I tell you what happens,
What happened?
I was doing something, and then all of a sudden, my wife said, "Do this," and I went, "Whoop whoop."
And it flew out of your hand.
Yep.
Yeah, but you have the biggest hands of any human being I know. And there's no
come on.
phone that's going to be big enough unless you carry an iPad with
Let
you.
me tell you, I don't know who makes these iPhones, but they make them to slip out of your hands. You know what
I think they do. They really do.
Like, put something on that's grips.
Well,
that
why don't you
grips.
have a case?
That's the first thing I did was put a case on.
Right.
And then I forgot what I had to do. You have to take it off to charge it up or something.
What?
Yeah, something.
no,
like
you
kind
got
of
the wrong
fucking case
case.
do you have?
You got the wrong case.
Who sold you a case? Whoever sold you a case is an asshole.
I guess.
Doesn't have a thing where you could just stick a hole in it.
Look
You
at
don't
these
have a
guys.
Run JRE case?
Look at these guys
Should get one,
challenge.
right?
They're all challenging me.
Are they now?
Yeah,
it's blown up.
I got to boycott this game right now.
They're going to come after you now. Now that they find out they can play you.
I like that they're doing it while we're doing the podcast
Yeah.
live.
All right, look, he's going to get obsessed. Look
Yeah.
at him. The wheels are spinning. The competitive drive.
Let me tell you, my
Engaged.
wife gives me problems on this. She says, he's playing chess. Women don't understand you playing chess and focusing. I'm trying to tell her, listen, I'm up to this score point. Don't interrupt me because it affects my score. But I need you now. We need to do this. Just 5 minutes, please, 5 minutes. She's looking
Yeah.
at me weird, but she's gotten better. She's actually, are you playing chess? So,
And then she leaves you alone?
Yeah.
That's good.
I think because I got mad a couple times.
Probably.
Yeah. Big bully with his wife.
You ever play chess with people other than Lennox?
No, I can't play chess. I don't
Good.
know.
I can't either. Maybe you and I will play together.
We should really learn the game
Yeah,
together.
we'll learn it together. I don't know how to play it at all.
Finally, something Joe can't do.
I want to video this game.
Yeah, we fucking disgusting.
Well, you know what? You could coach the game.
No, this is the first time I would ever see a chess game turn into checkers.
Oh man,
It's like,
wow.
That's it. We're fighting.
How
after this.
rude.
How do you play this game again?
How rude. All this coming from a man who doesn't really know how to play pool.
Ooh. Shots fired. Shots fired.
You're right. You're right. I play billiards.
Billiards.
Yes.
Pocket billiards.
Yes.
billiards.
You ever play 3-cushion billiards? You know what that is?
1, 2, 3, and then you have to
No.
get in the hole at the.
No, there's no holes.
Is that the one with the bumpers? No.
Yeah. Well, the whole table is
Oh,
a
you have
flat-
to touch it. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Russian.
3-cushion.
Isn't it Russian?
No, but I mean Russians play it. It's
Okay.
a big. It's real big in South America. It's real big in Mexico. It's real big in parts of Europe. Real big in Asia. Yeah, it's a different game. There's two different color balls and it's either 2 white balls and a red ball or 2 red balls and a white ball. And you got to, or sometimes it's a yellow ball, a red ball, and a white ball. And the idea is you make contact with one ball, and then you have to hit 3 cushions and then make contact with the second ball.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
And is
balls.
it good to watch?
It's well, if you know how to play it, it's good to watch. But if you don't know how to play it, it's the thing about what I like about pool is I like when the balls disappear. Like you make a ball, it goes away, goes in that hole. Bye, bitch. Like you sink the ball, it's like it's got a finality to it. It feels good. But with that, it just clicks. It's like just ding, 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 click. But the people who love it, love it. It's a very intellectual game because it's all about geometry. It's all angles and spin and, you know.
I'm not good at that either.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky game. I'm not good at it. I know it a little bit.
What about table tennis?
I can't play that.
Table tennis.
No, you'd fuck me up.
High hand coordination.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. One thing I learned is you can't do too many things. It will fuck you up. Like I have a real problem with Quake. You know what Quake is?
What's
Online
Quake?
video game. Jamie's been fucking me up lately.
Quake?
Yeah, we got a computer room set up in the back. It gets intense. Yeah.
What is Quake? What is this Quake? What is the object?
It's a 3D game where it's a computer game. You have all these weapons. You run around picking up weapons, and you're on a map. So it's just like every map is different.
But you do
different
this
rooms.
in real life too. I don't know why you're playing it on the video game.
What do you mean?
You're out there hunting.
Yeah, well, that's in the forest. That's different. I'm looking for meat. That's a different thing.
What kind of meat you hunting for?
Elk mostly, elk and deer. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, I bow
Do you
hunt.
do you cut it up same spot?
Well, you butcher it. You quarter it up while it's there, so you can carry it out. But you don't really like. You want to protect the meat, so you really want to get it out of the woods first and cool it off. That's what you want to do.
What do you do with all the leftover?
Leftover? Like what leftover?
The limbs and stuff.
Yeah, like the
like
paws.
the bones
yeah.
and shit like that. Leave them. I leave the bones.
You don't
Animals
bury.
eat
You
them.
don't bury it.
No, the animals will eat them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you leave the bones behind, then nothing goes to waste in the forest.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you shoot an animal in the forest and leave the bones behind, something's gonna eat it. If they don't eat, they'll eat most of it. You know, they'll find it. Bears will find it.
The
They'll chew it up.
ecosystem will take care of it.
Yeah, everything. Rats, everything. Everything will take care of it.
Now, how do your children feel about you doing those bad things to this animal?
Listen, as big as you are, you have to eat meat. There's
Yeah.
no way you're a vegan.
No, I eat meat.
Yeah.
I definitely eat meat.
Yeah, then my kids have used to it because I've been hunting since they were little. So they've eaten bear and deer and elk. They eat it all the
Do
time.
you cook?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
How does bear
Okay,
taste?
Here's a question for
Real
you.
good.
Do you wash your meat?
Do I wash it?
Do you wash your meat?
Like my dick? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
no.
I'm trying to feel like
No.
this is double entendre.
Is this going back to that?
It's funny. A lot of people take it that way. It's
Yeah.
like, when you're cooking, it's like you're taking the meat from the butchers. You don't know where it's been and
Right.
what kind of.
So you
condition-
rinse the chicken or whatever.
Yeah, you rinse it or put some vinegar over it and
Mm-hmm.
rinse it like that. So that's what I mean by wash it.
Well, when you're cooking it, you're cooking the outside, and anything that might be bacteria is going to get killed. The real issue is when you have an animal that has parasites. That's the issue. So if you're like cooking a deer, you don't have to worry about that because deers are herbivores, and herbivores don't really have parasites. But you can get they can get some. There's some worms that they do get, but most of the time, like
that's from pork, isn't it?
No, that's pork definitely can. The pork you get trichinosis. That's pretty serious. That's pretty serious shit.
I do enjoy me some pork though.
Yeah.
You heard me,
Man.
the devil's beast, Lennox.
Swine,
brethren.
Swine.
You don't eat the pork? No,
He used to be a Rasta. You can't eat
Oh,
pork.
that's right.
No,
A lot of jerk chicken.
There's jerk chicken all day.
I love jerk
all
chicken.
Day.
Jerk chicken. It's
Hard
hard
to
to
go for
find.
some oxtail out
It's
here.
hard to find a real good Jamaican restaurant, though.
None.
Right? Is there one in L.A.?
None that I've found. I've been here 13 years and I can't find it nowhere.
You know where they have good jerk chicken? Swingers. You know that
the cafe on 3rd or Beverly or something?
wherever it is.
Yeah.
Is it Beverly or 3rd? Yeah, they have good
I'm gonna
jerk
check it out.
chicken.
I'm gonna check it out.
I need oxtail.
Maybe your standards are higher because you're actually Jamaican.
Right.
But for me, it's tasty. I might
have
be
you
off though.
have you been to Jamaica?
No.
You need to go.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you would like it there.
I
It's,
bet I'd love
it's
it.
very important to go to Jamaica because everybody always tells you different stories and stuff, but
Right.
it's a paradise over there.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you like most about it?
That you can see different colors, because I spent a long time in London, and when I left London to go to Jamaica, I was like, wow, all these different vibrant colors, even in the water, in the colors in the trees. When you're driving around London, it's gray. It's gray.
Yeah.
Different cities, they're gray. So I like contact with plants.
Vibrant.
Yeah, energy.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
So.
That's the interesting thing. A lot of people do forget that you were from England, right? And that there was a stigma with English boxers for a long time, and you broke that.
Yeah.
You were the man.
Because what was the stigma? Because I heard it was all British boxers are horizontal.
Yes. Well, they were more vertical. They would stand straight up, and they would have like that European style. But it was like Henry Cooper. Remember when Henry Cooper dropped Muhammad Ali, and then they cheated, cut his gloves?
Ripped the glove, yeah.
But I mean, he was sort of one of the last great English boxers before you came along. And then for a long time, there was guys that were pretty good, like Frank Bruno, pretty good. But then they would get in there with guys like Tyson, and they would always wind up losing. So everybody had these, like, this is our guy, this is the one. And Frank Bruno, damn, did he look the part?
Yeah.
Was there ever a man more jacked as a heavyweight boxer
He'd
than
have
Frank
an ounce
Bruno?
of fat on him.
Jesus Christ, he was a Goliath. He was carved out of granite.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's never been a better built boxer ever. Well, you'd look at Frank Bruno and you go, how does he not kill everybody? He's so big.
Let me tell you, you should see Frank Bruno now.
How's he look?
Still chiseled.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Phenomenal genetics.
Yeah.
Must be phenomenal genetics.
Even at the age of like 65.
Wow.
Remember back in the
Really?
day, we used to think Evander, same thing. It was
Oh,
always-
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Evander, people forget, he started out as cruiserweight. He was a much smaller guy.
Light heavyweight, actually.
Was he in the UFC? I mean, in boxing?
Yeah,
rather?
didn't he win the... Oh, no, was
No.
it... I thought he won the
UFC.
light heavyweight title from
No.
Dwight Muhammad Kali.
No, that was
No, that was
cruiserweight.
cruiserweight.
cruiserweight?
Yeah,
Okay.
cruiserweight.
Yeah, which was a hell of a fight. That was a hell of a fight. That was like his big fight, like to prove himself as a professional. Because Kawi was tricky, 5'7", 200 pounds. It was a weird fighter, man.
Well, that was the American Olympic trials, right? Yeah.
No, well,
No, that was
Kawi
his
was a
title.
professional fight.
Oh.
That was for the cruiserweight title.
No,
Might have been Eddie Davis. Was
No,
his-
let me tell you, he had a lot
Look
of...
at it, Frank Bruno,
No,
still
you got-
looking good.
You got to see him with his shirt off. He's still cut.
But you could tell.
Yeah.
Skinny ass legs though. One leg kick. He's got a problem.
Yeah.
Damn though, he does look very good.
At one time, he had big legs.
Yes.
Maybe when he's
Well,
fighting
go
me.
to see Frank Bruno back when he was in his prime as a boxer. He was gigantic, man. He was as sculpted as a boxer ever gets.
He really,
look at him.
He really wanted.
That's not
me.
even a good picture.
No, it's not one of the best. Yeah, he was so jacked. Yeah, Kawi was a crazy, the Camden Buzzsaw. He was such a crazy fighter because he would pull his shorts up to like
Yeah.
here, right? And he was 5'7",
And he would tuck down.
and he was super wide, and he would fight with that Philly shell and come in real low. He was a very
He had
difficult
that Archie
guy
Moore
to deal
style
with.
almost.
Very difficult guy to deal with.
Don't see those styles anymore.
No. Now, when you watch boxing today, who really stands out to you?
All the champions right now, they didn't get to be champions for no reason.
Yeah.
And each one of them have different qualities. Let's look at the heavyweights. all the heavyweights, the top 3 heavyweights right now, they're all over 6'5".
Yeah.
And they all have a different style, which is good because, it reminds me of when me and Holyfield and Tyson were around. We all had different styles, which makes great fights. Now it's to guess which style is going to beat which style. You never know because they're all similar. They all 3 of them have knockout potential and they're boxing to win. So what we want to see who would win out of them.
Deontay Wilder to me is the most perplexing because he hits so hard. It's almost like he's got magic in his hands. He makes guys fly across the ring, and he's only 209 pounds.
And he does it off balance.
Yeah,
and he does it with both legs in the air.
Well, he made the Olympic team and won a bronze medal a year and a half into boxing.
Oh yeah. My problem with the new division is that they don't have the amateur pedigree, but maybe they don't need it. Well, Ortiz is great, but Ortiz is much older than he says he is.
Is he?
Yeah, what does he say he is? 40-something, like 40 or 41?
How old is he?
I'm hearing stories that Ortiz like 49.
How do you know?
Somebody told me about from the amateurs. I remember seeing him in the amateurs in the 80s, and they're like, what?
They always say that about Cubans, though.
Yeah, because
they say that same shit about Yoel Romero.
39
he says he's 39?
Yeah.
He just fought on the weekend, or 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago in one stoppage, right?
No, I think it was a decision.
Was it?
If it wasn't,
I thought it was a late round stoppage, unless he just fought again.
He just fought like last weekend or 2 weeks ago.
Didn't he fight like 2 months ago too?
No, he just fought. No, that was a stoppage, and this fight just happened. A week
so
ago
he's being very active.
Yeah. He's trying to come back.
What do you think about that? Like, how active do you think a boxer should be?
What really comes down to, this is how it goes. If you're starting boxing, obviously you want to have as many fights as possible to,
seasoning.
Get that experience level. So as much as possible, it's usually 4 fights a year. And then as you get better, it drops to 3 fights. And then when you're the champion, it drops to 2 fights. So that's the progression of fighting. You can't, like, for instance, how many fights did Deontay have this year? Maybe 2.
Right.
Before when he was starting out, he would have like 3 to 4.
Yeah, he's very angry that this rematch is not happening, and I side with him.
Was it Tyson who pulled out?
Tyson got a deal with ESPN.
Yeah. Well, and it's a big deal because talking about chess match, I think he's pulled off the greatest chess match move there is. First, he comes over from England. He takes the challenge with Deontay. Joshua didn't. He boxed, had a great fight. Now he's put himself right up with all 3 of them are on the same line to me. And then now for the rematch, people want to see Deontay and they want to see Tyson Fury again because the first fight was exciting. Joshua, who's he fighting? He's going to fight Big Baby. Nobody knows him.
Right.
Everybody knows Deontay.
Just boxing fans know that's about
Everybody knows Tyson. Everybody, and especially after that fight, because it was such a spectacular fight.
That knockdown was
oh, my
insane.
God. The first knockdown was great. The second knockdown was preposterous. So the fact that he rose like Lazarus.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. And then won the rest of the round. I mean, he gets tagged a few times and then starts boxing and then even tagged Deontay.
I still had him winning that fight.
It was close.
Tyson.
I think
by a round.
I think boxing won that night.
Yes.
Both guys looked great and boxed well and made an exciting fight. That the rematch, obviously, everybody wants to see the rematch again. So when the rematch happened, that put Anthony Joshua on the shelf.
Yeah.
In my eyes, now it's put him on the shelf a bit longer.
Yeah.
With this ESPN deal, and Tyson Fury's boxing in front of the public.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua and Deontay, they're pay-per-view.
Right.
Who are they going to fight pay-per-view? Nobody wants to see no silly fight. They want to see good fights.
Yeah.
So, it's a great move by Tyson Fury.
It's a great move, but the first fight, the fight ended in a draw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the draw, Deontay keeps the title, but at least Tyson walks away like saying, like, look, I won the decision. I feel like I should have won the decision. There's a dispute. There's a debate about it. But everybody wants to see that fight.
Yeah, I mean, a draw
That's
is not
the fight.
unreasonable.
But Tyson could lose to somebody.
Yeah,
But if he
both-
loses,
That's the thing. They
all
can
of them
all
can
lose
lose.
to somebody.
They can all lose.
Yeah.
You know, while they're mucking around saying, "Oh, I'll fight this," or "I
Yeah.
won't fight until next year," somebody might lose. This is
Right.
what happens.
And now none of them can fight each other because if Joshua fights Fury and loses to Fury, Joshua's star goes down. If
Sure.
Joshua fights Deontay and beats Deontay, the Tyson-Deontay fight's not that exciting.
Right, but if Joshua wants real respect, he's got to fight either Fury or Deontay.
Right.
Those are the
Yes.
big fights.
Yes.
Those are the big fights. Obviously, gets respect. He's the heavyweight champion of the world, but split. You know, that's a weird thing too.
I'd like to see Joshua Ortiz. That'd be an interesting fight
It would be an interesting
because
fight.
Ortiz can box
Yeah.
and hit.
Yeah, well, that was what showed how goddamn powerful Deontay is. That Ortiz was winning that fight.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the 10th round.
I
he
think it
caught
was
him.
the 7th or 10th.
I don't remember, but I remember when he caught him, I was like, God, that guy. Even late in the fight, that guy carries that power.
Ortiz is past his prime.
Let's
You
slow
know,
down there, Lewis.
Yes, past his prime. He's a good fighter, but you know, give him like 10 years,
Yeah.
and he would have beat these guys. He would have given them a good fight. But right now, he's obviously older, and he's an old fighter.
Yeah, well, they caught him doing some steroids, which is a
Yeah.
lot of times guys get older, they try to
Yeah, you need it.
juice up the old body.
Yeah, so when you reach that point where you need steroids, mentally it affects you.
Yeah.
You go into the ring and it's like, you're missing something that was there in the past and it made you feel good. Now I don't feel as good.
Right. When you were fighting, did anybody that you were fighting, did you suspect that they were on something?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that I know is I realize steroids can never get this strong
Your chin.
chin.
Yeah.
So you can take as much steroids as you want, but I'm hitting you on the chin.
Right. You can't
Yeah.
put muscles on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, these body punches you can't protect around here, so they'll affect you as well. So that's where when you hitting guys around here, body punches, and you hit them on the chin,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But don't you think that it makes them stronger physically, gives them more vitality, might make them able to absorb more punishment
For a minute,
for a minute, just for a little bit?
yeah, for a little bit.
Who'd you suspect was on something when you fought him?
I don't want to say.
You don't wanna
but
say?
Let me say.
Go ahead.
How
Go
about-
ahead.
I
Rhyme
think
the name.
Evander. I think
Wow.
Evander was the first
Very-
guy, as far as I'm concerned, was the first guy on steroids back in the
Very
day.
likely.
You
Very
look at the
likely.
fucking size of that guy
Yeah.
in the late '90s, especially when he fought
Sure.
Lennox.
Have you ever asked him if he's been on steroids?
No, I've never actually hung out with Evander.
Oh, okay.
I might have met your victory party 20 years ago.
He did hang around with the guys that were like into it. I did
Yeah, that
know
Mark, whatever his name was, he was the first guy to have like a strength and conditioning coach and all that kind of stuff. A dietitian.
Spinks did when he fought Larry Holmes. Same guy, Mackie Shilstone.
Yeah.
Mackie Shilstone got him in shape for Larry when he was coming up from light heavyweight. Yeah, that's the same guy that Evander used, and they
Yeah.
were doing. It was really interesting because at the time, the conventional wisdom was that boxers should not lift weights, and Evander was lifting all kinds of weights,
Oh, yeah.
and he put on all this muscle. But really, he was only about 205 pounds when he first
But
fought
them
as a
fucking
heavyweight.
traps.
Oh yeah,
Jesus Christ.
he was built. I mean, he was built. It was perfect body. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Woo!
That's not steroids.
Look at the neck.
That's steroids, buddy, right
No,
there.
not necessarily. You definitely can get that big without it. I mean, there are guys.
The word's alleged.
Yeah, alleged is a good word. But it's also possible to get that big with steroids. But it's not just steroids, too. It's EPO. Look at that one up there.
Yeah, but this is in the 80s and 90s. The good stuff wasn't available back then, was it?
Oh, yeah. What are you kidding me, man? Those Russians had everything back then, man. I mean, the Eastern Bloc women, they made world records. That was when he was a cruiserweight. Look how thin he was.
Yeah, but you can't call them women if they had mustaches.
Ooh,
Or
they had
penises.
thick beards and fat dicks. They set records that still to this day haven't been broken.
Wow.
And because they really were not women. I mean, they were women with massive amounts of male hormones in their body.
Flojo.
Yeah.
She's I think still sets the record right now.
For whatever it was. And she was also someone that was accused of doing things. Yeah. I mean, look, track and field, according to Victor Conte, who was the Balco guy. I had him on my podcast. He was the guy that got the clear to Barry Bonds and all those guys, supposedly undetectable steroids. He said track and field is just a dirty sport. Just like Tour de France, like just like cycling. He's
I was
like, it's a
disappointed in that
dirty sport.
You got Carl
was on
Lewis trying to call out Usain Bolt now, right?
What are you showing us, Jamie?
This is the top 100 meter times. All the names crossed out.
Oh, wow.
Steroids. And everything.
Wow.
It's everyone but Usain Bolt.
God damn. Well, that's like when Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France and they took his title away. If you had to give that title to someone who didn't test positive for anything, you had to go back to 18th place.
Wow.
That was a dirty sport. Bill Burr said it best. He goes, our psycho was better than your psycho. You were all dirty. It was a dirty sport. He was just better at doing that sport while being dirty.
Yeah, if everybody's dirty, then it's fair.
Yeah, well, he won. He won while everybody was cheating. And I mean, did he have?
So is it still cheating if everybody's doing it?
It is and it isn't. I mean, it is definitely cheating, but everybody's cheating.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's not good.
See, they went after the wrong thing. People were looking for drugs to help them get stronger when it's natural food that makes you stronger. It's what you put into your system. So, I know Jamaican food is great. Yams, the plantains, everything.
Bully beef.
Bully beef.
You know what's better than that?
What's that?
Steroids. Steroids are way better.
Oh, yeah. They work instantly, but,
It's so much better if you just stay on them. Like guys like Lance Armstrong, I mean, they proved it. I mean, you almost can't do Tour de France the way they were doing it without some sort of chemical help. Like I've heard it argued by physiologists. They say it's actually better for your body to be on steroids while you're doing something like the Tour de France because you give your body a chance to recover because they're doing so much work over the course of this race that without having some sort of chemical enhancement of your ability to recover, you're just not going to be able to do it healthily.
Your body can't do
Break
that on
down.
its own.
You get that rhabdomyolysis that those CrossFit people get. That's when your body starts breaking down muscle tissue and it becomes toxic.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Pollutes your
How
liver.
do you do that?
They work out so hard that people have died of it. Fighters have died from rhabdomyolysis.
Wow.
It's from overtraining. You overtrain, which is a big issue with fighters, right? Like some fighters can train too much and a good trainer knows how to pull you back and so that you're peaking when you get into the ring. But sometimes people are so mentally strong, they push themselves through even when they're exhausted because they think that's the way to victory. Hard work. What's up, Jamie? Yeah, your piss comes out looking like Coke. Comes out looking like Coca-Cola. That's what rhabdomyolysis piss looks like. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a sign
like
that your body's breaking down. Your muscle is your proteins in your body are breaking down and your body is getting poisoned by it. People die. A lot of CrossFit people get it. It's your kidneys.
What do you do in that situation? Do you take a rest, a leave of absence, or do you go see the doctor and make him give you some pills to put more things that you need in your system?
I think you have to go to the doctor almost immediately. I think they have to do
You pretty much, your
IV.
body goes septic on you, right?
Yeah, it's very dangerous. And a lot of these CrossFit people, because it's a competition and you're competing against all these other people and you're doing these massive repetitions, and some of them are not really conditioned for it yet. So their body's just, the muscle's not really acclimated to this kind of workload, and the shit starts breaking down.
Wow.
What do you do these days, like for exercise? Because you still look great.
Yeah, I ran 10 miles this morning.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
What?
Thank you.
Where'd you go?
What do you mean where I went? On the road.
But where'd you run?
On the beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, woke up and took a shower.
Nice. So you're
You
still...
did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know you anymore.
I ran. You guys don't even catch the joke. I ran 10 miles and I woke up and took a shower.
Oh.
Bing, bing, bing.
Oh, see,
You're a comedian. You're supposed to know that.
Yeah, but listen. All right.
That's a bad
First of all,
joke.
sit down.
Tell him. Just
First of
work
all,
with him.
sit down. He used to do this shit to me back in the day. I'd be at his house and I was like, I'm in his basement. I go, it started to rain. I go, Len, I got to go outside and close my sunroof. And he's like, no, hold on a second. Let me tell you a story. I go, Len, let me just go close my fucking sunroof. He's like, hold on, let me just tell you a story. And I'm like, dude, it's raining and my sunroof is open. Are you going to pay for my fucking car to get fixed? He's like, hold on. Yo, there's this guy, right? And I'm like, come on. And he goes into this fucking long story. And he goes, he's trying to get out this window. And I'm pulling his leg and I'm pulling his leg. And I go, and he goes, just the way I'm pulling your leg right now. And I'm like, fucker.
Do you ever do yoga?
Yes.
You look like a guy who'd get into yoga.
I actually hurt myself doing yoga.
Really?
Yeah,
It's much harder than it looks, dude.
I'm flexible. Like, if I stand up, I can put both my hands on the ground like that.
Wow.
With my legs straight. But somebody told me, oh, you know what? You got to move your bum cheeks a little back, and that helps you get down a little more. And I'm like, okay, bum cheeks a little back. And
Pop.
After a couple of days, it's like, I'm walking around saying I hurt myself, and it goes, yoga? I said, yeah. I said, yeah, I hurt myself too. I'm like, I didn't know you can hurt yourself in yoga.
You can hurt yourself in yoga.
Yeah.
My doctor told me a lot of people come to him with injuries, back injuries from yoga.
What is that? Mentally saying that you can do it when your body's saying you can't? Or just doing something wrong?
Just doing something wrong,
Yeah.
especially if you do it too hard, too quick. Like yoga's like anything else. I mean, it's exercise. You definitely can hurt yourself. Do you do the hot yoga or cold yoga?
I haven't tried the hot one. I want to, but I do cold yoga.
I like hot because I think
feel
your
it
body
loosens
gets
you up, no?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also torturous. I like that aspect of it, and also there's a Harvard study that's going on right now where they're trying to find out if there's the same benefits that you get from the sauna, you get from doing hot yoga. When your body gets really overheated like that, it produces heat shock proteins and it alleviates a lot of inflammation in the body.
Wow.
That's why the sauna is so good for you. Because
The dry sauna?
Yeah, dry sauna. Your body you get in there, your body's like, what the fuck is this? And so it produces these cytokines, these heat shock proteins, and it's fantastic for people just for
Yeah, my hands
overall
don't hurt when I'm
issues.
in the sauna.
You should get one in your house, man.
I got one. I got a
Do you?
sauna in the
Oh,
house.
it's
Yeah.
nice, right?
Yeah,
You should
I
go in
haven't
every
used
day,
it.
man. Dude, you should be in there every day.
should.
Especially because you're doing jiu-jitsu now.
Mm-hmm.
After training, it's fantastic for you.
I just go sit in the tub with Epsom salts.
That's good, too.
Yeah.
That's good, too.
I don't think
Yeah.
that works, Epsom salt.
Oh.
It makes you feel good going to bed.
Yeah.
Like I'm nice and relaxed. I go to sleep and, aromatherapy, that type of thing. It smells good.
But it's not that. There's magnesium in it.
No. Okay.
Epsom salt, your body absorbs magnesium through your skin. It's one of the best ways for your body to get magnesium. Is
Yeah.
actually through Epsom salts. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take more of that.
Yeah. I have a float tank. You ever do a float tank?
Is that the cold water one?
No. That's it's a tank of water that's heated to 94 degrees, which is like the surface of your skin, and there's 1,000 pounds of Epsom salts in there, and you
Wow.
lay in it and you float. You like your body, half your body's above the water, and then you close the door. Total silence, total darkness, and it feels like you're flying through space. It's beautiful. You would love it, man.
Yeah, I gotta
Especially
try.
being the
You've
cerebral.
been telling me about this one for years.
Dude, I got one right here.
I know.
Anytime you want, man.
But isn't
You
it kind of
live
gross to
close
sit in
by.
somebody else's?
No.
No?
There's first of all, it's only me. I'm the only one who sits in it.
And I know how gross you are.
I'm clean right now. There's a massive filtration system. It's like there's got a commercial filtration
I
system.
could just drop in and be like, Joe, I'm just going to go float.
Anytime, man. Just text me and I'll have Jeff come by and open it up for you. Or do it while we're doing a show.
You have to
can
be
come
naked
by.
when you do it?
Yeah, you got to be naked.
Yeah, don't have to worry.
Don't be scared, homie.
Everything floats. So anything that's in there will be floating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you're scared of.
I'll show you the whole system. And there's an ozone system that purifies the water. It goes through this commercial filtration system. It's heavy duty stuff, man. It's pretty intense.
Because they've started these flotation tank centers now.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah. They're so
You were
good
talking
for
about
you.
this for the past 10 years.
More.
Yeah.
I had one in 2002.
I remember you when I went to your house back in the day when
Yeah.
you were doing this podcast out of the house.
Yeah, I had one in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the ice one?
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, cryotherapy. Yeah, there's a place down the street from here, about a couple miles away. 250 degrees below zero.
I thought you would have had one of those too.
No, that's too, that's like you have to get like nitrogen tanks and shit, and I worry about that stuff exploding. Like some shit going wrong and you getting maimed.
Yep.
So do you enjoy doing commentary too?
Yeah. I love giving my opinion. People always say I've got unusual opinions. They've never heard that before or never heard it put that way. So, I can give you from a fighter's point of view. Have been in boxing for so long, there's different experiences that I've gone through, so I'm happy to share them.
But you don't ever work out boxing-wise anymore.
Yeah.
But you don't hit a bag.
My son's 15, and I know he wants to box. So anytime we get a chance, I'm always training him.
How big is he now?
6 feet.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He's taller than you.
Tyson's son is 16.
Oh, Miguel,
and
yeah.
Tyson's son was saying that he wants to box too. Tyson's like, listen, man.
No, Miguel's not built like that.
But he's also saying, listen, you grew up soft, and he's saying like you don't want to meet someone like me, like the way he was.
Yeah, I know
He's,
Mike's
saying,
Mike's
like,
kids.
You don't want to meet some animal like me. Like when he was fighting, like he thinks of what he would have done to his own sons. Like, oh, don't do that. Like he was talking about it on the podcast.
And his son Miguel's a really talented kid, like musician-wise.
Yeah.
He can play like 7 different instruments. And
Wow.
speaks Spanish.
Wow.
The kid's really,
That's
and he's a
amazing.
really smart, nice kid.
Well, Tyson's a smart guy. He's not like he has.
I think people mistake Tyson for being
Yes,
a dummy.
he's very
He's
smart.
very, very intelligent,
Listen,
well-read.
The boxing is, in at least some levels, a very, very intellectual pursuit.
Yeah.
You have to have a strong mind to be able to dodge those punches, get in, and get yours in. You have to. You have to be able to sort out that problem. There's a problem in front of you. The problem is another man who's the same weight as you, the same size as you. He's got gloves on just like you do, and he's trying to do what you're trying to do to him.
And you have to do that within seconds.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Punches thrown at you. What do? What's the rebuttal?
Yeah, people don't understand. They think just because someone doesn't have the best vocabulary or because they don't have a comprehensive education that they're not intelligent. And that's a big mistake.
No, Tyson's intelligent. I remember going to the Catskills when I won the World Junior Championships in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And I remember the American team was saying, "Oh, well, you never fought the best." I'm like, "Didn't fight the best. I thought Americans said the best team." "Yeah, but one guy, he doesn't like taking planes, and his manager don't like taking planes either." So I'm like, "Who's that?" And they told me it was Mike Tyson, custom model. So me and my trainer, we left Canada and we drove all the way up there. And while we were up there, Razor Ruddock was up there, and they said, "Oh, Razor Ruddock came, didn't spar with us." I said, "Okay, I'll spar with you. I'm here for 4 days." So first time Tyson actually met me, he was a nice guy, really nice guy. He took me in his room, showed me some old flicks that I've never seen before of old-time fighters. He would tell me about each fighter, like he studied them. And then, this is where he got his his style of fighting from. And first day in the gym, bell went. He came across and he was trying to kill me. Like, I did my Muhammad Ali thing. Obviously, stayed away from his power. But the first day was really hectic, and then the second day was a little hectic, and it got better as it went along. And the last day I got actually the better of him the last day. And I remember Customato saying, "Mike, you're going to meet him someday. Don't you do that." And that always echoed in my mind that, will we ever fight? Will we ever fight? Because Customato said that we're going to fight. Wow. And it did happen.
And there's footage of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lennox has the footage of it.
Footage of the training
Of the
sessions?
sparring.
How old was Tyson at the time?
Tyson was he was about 52.
No, how old was he at the time?
Oh, at the time?
15.
He was younger than me. I was 17. He was about 17.
Wow.
At the time, yeah. I was 18.
No, he was younger than that.
That must have been
Yeah,
crazy.
because it was 84. It was before the Empire State Games and everything. 'Cause you went up there before you went to the 84 Olympics.
Yeah.
Well, it must have been crazy, though, knowing that, you guys were going to be a part of boxing history, and knowing that all the way back then, and being a teenager, and standing in front and hearing Customato scream that out. That must have been intense.
It was intense because Customato wasn't that loud. When he all of a sudden he became loud, it was like everybody listened, And then, there's certain ways that you get across to people, and some people you have to shout at them.
Did you ever wish that you fought him in his prime?
In essence, I did fight him in his prime. And, when you say prime, I was in my prime too.
But you were definitely in your prime. You were, but I feel like his enthusiasm had waned before then, This is my perception.
Yeah, how I look at that whole thing is Mike Tyson was an early bloomer. I was a late bloomer. So, when both of us meet, there's never a perfect time. Perfect time for us is when we meet in the middle.
Right.
And,
Right, and if he won, maybe people would look at it differently, right?
Yeah.
It's because you beat him and beat him so soundly.
Right.
That people look at it like maybe his time had already been gone.
Yeah, Lennox turned pro after Mike had already had a defeat.
Wow, no kidding.
Lennox turned pro in 89.
Wow. I never even thought of that.
And Mike lost in January of
Look
89.
at
yeah,
that.
this is us up in Catskills.
Look at you.
Look at Kevin Rooney.
Wow, that is crazy, man. God, that's crazy.
He was built back then too. He had a big neck.
Yeah, he was always doing those neck bridges. But he also just had freak genetics. I mean, just a phenomenal genetic specimen. I had Teddy Atlas in here, and Teddy Atlas used to take Mike to the smokers when he was 13. And Teddy was joking around about it. He said everybody always lied about how old people were. They would tell you the kid was 16 and really he was 20. They always did that. And he said, he goes, so how old is this kid? He goes, 13. He goes, what does he weigh? He goes, 190 pounds. It's like, what the fuck, Teddy? Come on. He's like, I'm telling you, he's fucking 13. What do you want? So, nobody would believe it because he was such a specimen.
I watched that one.
Yeah, Teddy was great, man.
Do you think he should have stayed with Teddy?
Should have stayed with Kevin and Teddy.
Well, he definitely, he was so wild. Like, how could you tell him what to do back then? That was part of the problem. I mean, no one ever prepared him. And this is one of the things that we discussed on the podcast was that he was a 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy, and he was getting hypnotized. He came from a terrible background. There was no love. He was abandoned. And all of a sudden, he's getting love and attention for something. And this one thing was this man who was telling him, you're going to be a great fighter. You're going to be a world champion. And he would hypnotize him. He was saying, you don't exist. The task exists. You're going to work the body and destroy this man. And he would put these thoughts in his head. And Mike couldn't wait to just get out there and fuck people up because that's where he got the love. That's where he got the attention from. But he never told him how to shut it off. He didn't have time to work with him because he was on his way out. He was dying when he met Mike. And so he only taught him how to destroy. He never taught him how to cope. He never taught him how to understand that there's going to be a lot of shit coming your way, and you got to know what that is. And don't get caught up in that hype train. Don't get wrapped up in Hollywood. And he wound up marrying Robin Givens, and all.
I don't think Cuss foresaw all that other bullshit.
No.
How could he have?
No, if Cuss was around, Mike would be totally different.
He would have been a different man. If Cuss lasted another 15 years.
Even if Jimmy Jacobs had lasted another 5 years.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it would have helped. But I mean, it's like once removed from Cuss. It's like Kevin Rooney was once removed from Cuss, right? And then Teddy Atlas was way more of a hard liner. Teddy Atlas, you couldn't put any bullshit with, and like those other guys who just got to go, then he got to Aaron Snowell and all those guys that were with him.
Bums. Richie Giacchetti.
They just didn't, they could have never brought Mike to the dance, right? They got there when he was already at the dance, and they're just trying to like maintain things, and he's not listening to anybody. Mike Tyson.
They also weren't boxing people, as far as I was concerned.
When he was up with Cuss, he was in a good situation. There was a lady in the house cooking meals. They had Cuss there being a father figure, talk to him every day, and that's what young kids need. They need that, to be spoken with by older people. Yeah. And, a lot of young people nowadays are not even respecting the older people, but they can gain a lot of information from an older person. How do you deal with this situation? Yeah. Well, you hear from an older person, it kind of makes your mind think and say, you're right. It works for them. So anytime I get a chance to talk to kids about, their life and where they're going, always take that opportunity.
Well, you're such a great example of a guy who has done incredible things, but you've come out on the other end with wisdom and lessons and honesty, and you can talk about things and people will listen to you in a way that a lot of kids, they don't want to listen to someone who ain't done shit. Right. You talk to some guy who's just some boring dude. He wants to give you advice like, hey, fuckface, how about get your own shit together? Tell me what to do, bitch. But when you're Lennox Lewis and you talk to a kid, they go, oh, okay, Mr. Lewis, you're a chess master, world heavyweight champion.
What's that school you got in Jamaica now? You got a boxing school there now, right?
Yeah, Lennox Lewis League of Champions. Ooh. Yeah, it's for young kids that, learning how to box. We teach them how to box. We teach them life skills as well, because what we realize that, a lot of the kids just want to talk. There's nobody around them to talk. Nobody listens to them. Yeah. And when they hear other kids' stories, they feel a lot better. It's like, I was going through that, and I liked how he dealt with it. It's like it. Yes. This is what's missing nowadays. Yes. The relationship with kids. Talking to them. Just ask them how they are. Yeah. Ask them what they're doing. What do they want to be? Right.
Yeah, and then have some place where they can go. Yeah. And then have something that gives them a sense of value. And that's what a lot of sports does do to children. It gives them. You realize if you work hard and you try something and you study it and you get better at it, you feel good, like you accomplished it, you got through whatever the sport is.
A lot of the kids that come boxing have never tried it before, but once they try it, it's like, wow, they learn new things about themselves. Even the training of boxing. Yeah. The fact of, let's run a mile. They never ran in their life. Now they've run half a mile, didn't make the mile, But the next day they want to try the mile, and it shows them that if you keep working at something, you'll accomplish it. You know, don't give up. Don't all of a sudden you tried it and it's like, oh no, it's not for me. Keep trying it. You don't know it's not for you until you keep trying it and then realize it's not for you or for you.
What are you going to do if your son wants to fight?
Let him.
Yeah, I think your perspective would be very different than Mike's.
Yeah, for me, you know, I'm not forcing my son to box, but if he wants to try it, let him try it. His father used to box, so why not try something his father did? Maybe he has the gene for it.
Yeah.
You know, right now my son plays basketball. He wants to be an actor. He loves boxing. He can do anything he wants. You know, all my kids are talented, and I see the drive in them that I have and their mother has. So I know that they're going to be successful. You know, they're basically, I'm trying to help them to become successful in the future and give them the tools to become successful in the future as well.
Good for you, man. What a lucky young man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and young women too.
Yeah, well, what a great situation to be your son, you know what I mean? And your daughters as well, but for sure. But, I mean, to be your son, if you really do have a desire to box, would you start training him?
I'm training him already.
Oh, shit. Why are we whispering? Oh, shit. Why
no,
not?
like I'm saying,
effect.
yeah, it's like, you know, I was talking to George Foreman the other day, and one of his daughters were fighting.
Isn't her name George?
Yes.
Everyone's
She's
named George.
Georgina or something, right?
Yeah,
Some crazy shit. He's got like 8 Georges in his house.
Yeah.
I said, and I'm watching her fight.
They know by the tone, apparently, which one it is.
So strange.
The inflection on the J.
I'm watching her fight, and I'm like, George, you need to tell her some stuff. I know there's some good things you can tell her, or even get her a proper coach, or, you know, help her. I don't want her to fight.
Wow.
That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
But if you don't want her to fight and she's fighting, you're not going to help her. She's going to get hurt. So you might as well.
I think she stopped already anyway.
My approach to raising kids is I don't have any input onto what they do. I would never tell my kid I don't want you to do that, because it's not my life. It's their life. I give them guidance if I can. I'll talk to them about what they're doing if I can. But they also have to go out and do it themselves. Mm-hmm. You know, I really firmly believe in that. Like, you got to go do it yourself. But if you want to do it, that's your thing.
I try to convince my daughter to want to do jiu-jitsu.
Really?
I do. I said, sweetheart, I'll get you a pink gi if you want.
My kids were doing martial arts for a while. My middle daughter was doing jiu-jitsu, and my youngest daughter was doing MMA. But she got bored with it after a while, which is cool too. You know, they're 10 and 8. You know, who knows? Maybe they'll come back to it. But
yeah, I kind of whisper to my son right now, you need to do some wrestling.
Yeah.
Glenn, get him in jiu-jitsu. I'm telling you.
Do you think you fight MMA?
You know, I don't know what the future holds. He may fight MMA. He knows.
No, if he's gonna fight, he should box.
Why?
Just because of the money factor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Honestly,
But if you're a heavyweight, you know, if you're a heavyweight MMA
definitely gonna
fighter,
be a
you can make a
heavyweight.
lot of money. Yeah, well, he certainly will be.
like if you met Lennox's brother Dennis, they're nothing
Well, just look
alike.
at Lennox's bones. I mean, you don't have
Look
a
at that.
goddamn
I got a
chance of being
decent fist,
anything but a heavyweight.
It's like a child holding a fist
yeah,
up to a
I
man.
have pretty big fists, but yours are gigantic, man.
Yeah.
You know, you're a huge human being. You know, your kid's gonna be a heavyweight.
Oh, he's going to be a heavyweight.
He's already a heavyweight.
Listen, he's 6 foot and he wears size 15 shoes.
He doesn't need to fight. You just keep a pair of his shoes by the front door.
So I think
that's
he's
crazy.
gonna outgrow me.
That's like a puppy.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. He's gonna be enormous.
Like a Great Dane.
Why do kids outgrow their parents?
I don't know. I think it's food. I think they get better food than us. Yeah. I think, you know, you think about like how much protein children have now. If you ever go back and look at like how big men were during like the Civil War period,
They were tiny.
they were like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
They were tiny little people because nobody had good food. Like everybody was like barely surviving. Everyone was scraping by.
That was bread and water times.
Yeah, like the people that made it across the West. You ever see photos of those folks? Those skinny, rickety looking people just
But
starving to death.
tougher than we could ever be.
Oh my God, they were little wolves.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
they're up early in the morning working.
They had to survive. Yeah. It's just, but now today, kids are getting, you know, massive amounts of protein, and they get vitamins and vegetables and, you know, drinking all this milk. And
The food's got shit in
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. But there's that too. There's that too. But I just think it's just an abundance of nutrition. I mean, when people were smaller, a lot of it was because of malnutrition. Like, look at Asian folks. Like, a lot of Japanese folks used to be much smaller. Now they're pretty fucking big. You're getting some really big Japanese fighters. Like, they're larger
Those guys are
people.
huge, some
'cause
of
they're
them.
eating better.
You know what I wanted to ask you?
Please.
Conspiracy theories. I know you have some.
Yeah, I got some.
I thought I was listening to you was something about Martians the other day.
That was probably Alex
Probably
Jones.
Alex Jones.
Was that Alex Jones?
Alex and
I don't
Eddie.
know.
Oh my God!
It
I saw
might
an
have been.
amazing NASA shirt I was going to buy for Eddie the other day.
Yeah, Alex wore a NASA
I
shirt
saw
just
that.
to fuck
I watched
with
it.
Eddie. Yeah. Eddie believes shit that even Alex thinks is ridiculous. Like, what conspiracy theories do you want to know about?
No, I'm like, let me hear some.
Well, I believe less and less than I ever used to.
Population control. Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe there's any concerted effort, like where there's a bunch of really rich people that have decided to euthanize a bunch of people to keep the population low. I think that's paranoid. I think that there's probably some people that go, you know what, we would be a lot healthier if there was less people. But there's no obvious effort. The population keeps fucking growing. Imagine if you were the all-powerful, all-knowing people that are running the world, and you're doing such a shitty job of population control.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to control India and China.
You're not. You're not.
You're not. You're not getting in these fucking dirty villages and trying to stop people.
You're not doing it anywhere. And even in this country, people are fucking like wild animals and just
Yeah. I got a
shooting
kid
out
coming
kids.
next month.
Hey, I
Jesus.
got 3 kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, look, it's just the way it is, man.
Yeah.
People like to fuck. They like to make people.
Well, in China, you're only allowed 1 kid.
No, I think they lifted that.
They've
lifted that?
because a lot of people were drowning their daughters. There was horrible shit. Yeah,
Wow.
they were killing. I mean, this is the rumor. Was that people they wanted a son, and if they had a daughter, they would,
Yeah,
get rid
daughter
of-
was like the lose for you.
Yeah.
And to me, a daughter's a win because they're so much easier to deal with.
Really?
I find with my daughter, we're like this.
Yeah, you know what, man? I mean, just be happy.
But I got
your children
a
are
guy
healthy.
coming, a boy coming next month.
Yeah,
shit.
you got to have the yin and the yang.
I got little Joseph Lennox Lewis Peters coming next month.
That's what he's gonna name him.
Hey,
Joseph Lennox Rogan Peters. He's going to be amazing.
I'm so happy that you gave him my name.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Gave him my first.
I was going to
name.
give him your middle name, but I didn't want to do that to him. So
What's your middle name?
Whoa, yes. My middle name is Claudius.
Claudius.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like a Roman emperor.
Absolutely.
Claudius.
Claudius. There you go.
Beautiful. Hey, man, I know you're supposed to get out of here at 2:00. Do you have a hard out?
No.
No, you can
No.
stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good.
It's fun.
Beautiful. Let's keep talking. Beautiful. Yeah. So back to your question. I think there's definitely some people that are influencing the way the world works for sure, but I don't think there's anybody that's really trying to control population or euthanize.
What about this one?
Okay.
Do you think the Russians put Donald Trump in the president's chair?
I think the Russians absolutely wanted Donald Trump to win.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think they definitely undermined our democracy through various methods of manipulating people through social media. In fact, I have a woman coming on very soon. When is Renee DeResto on? This week? Next week. She's on next week. And she actually studied it and wrote this very comprehensive report about it. It was on Sam Harris's podcast and detailed millions of interactions with Russian bots and Russian fake accounts, and that these troll farms that would create memes, and they did a bunch of different things. They didn't just try to pump Trump up, but they also tried to get people against each other and cause all sorts of civil arguments and all sorts of online
Unrest.
Yeah, all sorts of unrest online. They organized these meetings. Like they organized one pro-Texas meeting across the street from a pro-Muslim meeting. They did it on purpose.
Oh, I remember that,
And they did
yeah.
it all through Facebook to get these people to fight with each other.
Wow.
They're doing these things to try to get people to take sides and to get people to be angry at the other side. They did a lot of shit like that, real sneaky stuff that we probably do in foreign countries all the time. And, we're mad that they're doing it to us because now they're doing it through social media.
Well, if you think about when we were growing up in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, all the imagery we saw of the USSR was very dark and gray.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was very barren and it was destitute. And
well, some of it was true, though.
yeah, but that's all we saw. And then all of a
Right.
sudden that lifts and these hot fucking Russian chicks show up. I'm like, where were these bitches this whole time? Where was she in the propaganda?
That's so true. You never saw the hot Russian ladies.
Never.
They're some of the hottest women on the planet.
Yeah,
man.
they used to show us these big manly women. What do you want? And now
Right.
you're like, well,
Where?
hello.
Where did that one come from?
They were hiding.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 friends that are married to Russian ladies. They're very happy.
Now the question, because you're American and everything, I'm not American. So, is this wall ever going to get built, or what's the situation?
I don't. I think it was more of a campaign rhetoric thing. Build that wall, build that wall.
So he's kind of staying with it.
I mean, I think he wants
his supporters.
Yeah, I think he's got to kind of do something, right? Once you say that you're going to build a wall, you got to kind of do something. But there ain't shit been built.
Yeah,
we're 2 years into the president. They haven't built shit.
Well, there's a year left and a year and a half left in the presidency.
There is some wall. There's some wall that's up, but there's also some big-ass gaps. And the idea that they're going to stop drugs from coming over from that wall is crazy.
Right now, the wall looks like Leon Spinks' mouth.
You son of a bitch. People forgot about Leon Spinks, man. I remember my parents were hippies, right? But when Muhammad Ali lost to Leon Spinks, and then there was a rematch, we watched it on television. Everybody wanted Ali to win. People forget that Ali wasn't just a great boxer and the heavyweight champion of the world. He represented people that were against the war.
Yep.
He represented people that were against all of the discrimination and all the racism that people had experienced in the 50s and the 60s. He was a different thing. He represented the hope of this new generation, that this athlete would take a stand. And he said that no Viet Cong ever did anything to me. I'm not going over there and fighting anybody. And they took away his ability to earn a living for 3 fucking years.
Years,
and he was a hero, a real social. He could have given in. He could have given in. He could have got a cushy job like Elvis or some shit, and they would have had him go over there and, just to make it look like he was doing something. He's like, no fucking chance. He stood up for it. My parents, who were hippies, wanted him to win. I mean, my mom didn't give a fuck about boxing, but when Ali...
This is what he stood for.
I was a little kid. I remember watching this on TV thinking, this is crazy. My parents want to watch a boxing match because of what he stands for.
My dad felt that way about Joe Lewis and Robinson.
Well, when Joe Lewis beat Max Schmeling.
Oh, yeah,
he
same.
Beat Max
it was a very similar thing.
He was beating Max Schmeling for the world. Like, it wasn't... I mean, I feel terrible for Max Schmeling because, he was probably just caught up in all that shit. But
Max even said he wasn't part of it. He was just a pawn in the game.
Yeah, I'm sure. But
what about Jack Johnson?
That's my favorite.
That's the craziest of all stories.
Other than Lennox Lewis. Jack Johnson's my favorite.
That's the craziest of all stories, right?
Can you imagine
he was incredible. What that guy must have experienced?
And the shit he said back then,
he
would slick talk you bad.
My favorite one, there's a meme, a photo of him in his car. I don't even know if the story's true.
About the $50?
Yes.
I don't have change. I'm coming back tonight, same speed.
He got pulled over going 50. He had to give the guy $50. That was the fee. He gave the guy 100. He goes, what's this for? He goes, I'm going to be coming back later that night. Yep. Same speed, motherfucker.
Then there's the story of him getting in a taxi and getting in the backseat of the taxi, and the guy goes, I don't drive... Nigers, and he reached over, pulled the guy into the back seat, got in the front, drove himself to where he had to get to, and the guy's like, "Where's my fare?" Because I drove myself, and he got out.
I wonder if that's true. He could wrestle.
These are all in his book.
He wrestled. There's video of Jack Johnson wrestling.
He had like a 13-inch wrist.
Oh, he's a gigantic human being for the time, but I think he was only 6'2".
Yeah, but he was
They called him the Galveston Giant.
Yep.
Yeah.
And people, GQ magazine rated him as best dressed athlete of the century in 2000.
It's the wrong century.
Of the 20th century.
Oh, right. Get it.
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
in 2000, they did it for the whole.
The whole 20th century.
They're backtracking.
Yeah. Well, I don't think any of us could even imagine what it must have been like when he won the title and the kind of hate that he got. All the people that wanted him to be killed.
But the shit he did was so gangster.
Oh, yeah.
He would hit you, see your knees buckle, and hold you up. And he would say things to the guys, "Not yet, sir. Not yet, boss. Not yet. You're going to have a longer night than this." And he would just torture these guys.
Yo, this guy knows boxing.
Did you ever see his fight with Stanley Ketchel?
Yeah. Yeah, the Boilermaker.
Yeah, Stanley Ketchel dropped him.
Yeah, that was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a
exhibition.
An exhibition bout. And Stanley Ketchel was a middleweight, right?
Yeah.
And then he hit him.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then his teeth got stuck in his gloves.
Yeah, he smashed him.
Wow.
Yeah. He had a fascinating style. When they had those little gloves.
Yeah, what you guys don't realize, I was going to say, the little gloves, horsehair.
Yeah, different world.
Yeah.
Yeah, little gloves were hard.
Break your fucking hands real easy, too. And
but
MMA
they hurt
fighters
more because they were not padded. That shit hurt.
Well, it's like MMA gloves.
Yeah.
MMA fighters find out the hard way. Like, you can't just You can open up with boxing and not even worry as much about what you're hitting. You cannot do that if you're fighting bare knuckle.
No.
Have you seen that bare knuckle boxing thing?
I was just
that
going to
they're
say,
doing?
what is
Yes.
this bare
What do you
knuckle
think of that?
resurgence?
I think these guys are tough.
Yeah, they're
These
definitely
guys are
tough.
tough.
But you
It's
got
like-
pro boxers going in it now.
Yeah.
Who went in it? Somebody, a decent name was in it recently.
Well, a lot of UFC fighters.
Yeah,
their
no, but
careers are over.
Yeah.
They've gone in.
It's
Isn't,
like
what's
it's
his
like
name doing it?
rugby or football. You know?
Right, right.
The rugby
right.
guys are tougher than the football players.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
The Italian guy's in it. I saw him doing the bare knuckle thing.
Italian guy.
Yeah,
was
so
a
it's
UFC
plenty.
fighter.
From
one guy.
Italy?
No, an Italian American. Ah, shit,
Oh, Phil Baroni?
Yeah, Phil Baroni. Wasn't he doing the
Yeah.
bare knuckle?
Yeah, he did one. Yeah. Yeah. Quite a few MMA fighters. Melvin Gillard did some.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's, but it's sort of a last resort kind of thing, trying to pick up a paycheck. Chris Lytle did it.
Mhm.
It's just a hard way to make a living. Someone's
What about
trying
ONE
to-
FC?
What's this guy knocking at the door? Is he saying the time? Tell this motherfucker to sit down. That's your boy.
Who, my guy?
Yeah, he's knocking on the
Who,
door.
Eddie?
Yeah.
The Mexican?
Yeah.
No, he's good. Don't
Yeah.
fire him.
He's trying to get in. The other guy's talking to him. So Lennox's fella is talking to your fella.
My assistant? My assistant knows better.
Well, people get silly.
It's like a good meal, you know. Once you're enjoying this meal, you just want to finish
I
it.
know. What do they have you doing after this?
Just more interviews. They got me busy
Boring ass interviews, though. What are you promoting?
promoting the fights.
Which fights? We haven't talked about any of them.
Yeah.
Hey, you couldn't promote a fart at a bean eating
We're
contest.
talking about chess and get the fuck out of here. You get the fuck out of here. Tell your boy.
It's you.
I'm good, Eddie. Don't
It's
worry about
you.
me. I've already told them. I don't have to be somewhere till 4:30.
I'm gonna put some two-way glass there where we can see out and they can't see in.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Silly boy trying to interrupt podcasts.
Fucking Eddie.
Jesus, Eddie.
Sean Porter is
Yes.
fighting this weekend.
Who's he fighting?
UGAS from Cuba.
Oh, they
And,
said you guess. I'm like, I don't know who.
And
it should be a good fight.
and this is on.
This is on Fox PPC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Porter's a champ right now, right? He won the title from Thurman, didn't he?
Yeah.
And or did he win it from Danny Garcia?
Danny Garcia. I don't know.
Don't you watch
He's-
boxing?
Aren't you a boxer?
Yeah, of course.
Jesus.
I'll tell you anything about the heavyweights.
Are you doing commentary on this event?
He last beat Danny Garcia.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
beat
right.
Danny Garcia.
Yes.
So you're doing commentary on this?
Yes.
For Fox?
Yes.
Nice.
Should be a good fight.
Should be a very good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Oh, he grew his hair out.
Every time Sean Porter
Who's that
fights,
Smurf? Oh, it's Lennox.
every time Sean Porter fights, it's always a serious brawl.
Mm.
You know, this guy reminds me of the old time fighters. The way how this guy fights, you know, it gives you a lot of pressure. He's on you.
Somebody
And
needs to help him tie his tie, though.
He doesn't mind taking the shot to punch you. So he mixes it up.
And
He's
that
a
is
tough guy.
that's this Saturday night?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of great fights coming up. The Mikey Garcia, Earl Spence Jr.
Excited
That's
about that.
That's a very good fight.
Makes me
Very
nervous,
good
though.
fight.
It makes me nervous.
Why?
so?
Why? That's a great fight.
No,
That's
it's
what
a great
everybody
fight.
wants to see.
It's a great fight, but I like Mikey Garcia, but to me, it's like
I like both of those guys.
I like them both. I think Mikey's plus in this fight is that Spence hasn't had pressure like this, and Mikey doesn't tank out on anybody. Mm-hmm. He
Yeah.
does not gas out, and he's not afraid to mix it up with you.
What about the size difference?
That's what I'm worried about. It's the size difference, the weight difference. I mean,
Yeah.
I
The
would have
fact- the
preferred
fact that he's
Mikey had one more fight before he fought Spence, but
No,
they know what they're doing.
He's ready. His whole family's
I mean, yeah, he's.
boxing specialists, you know.
Yeah.
And
I've trained with his brother before, with Robert.
oh,
Have
okay.
you really? In
Yeah.
Oxnard?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
No shit.
yeah.
Look at you.
Great gym.
So
Trained
you,
jiu-jitsu with Jean-Jacques Machado. You're boxing with Robert Garcia.
Yeah, Lomachenko was there training the day I
God
went.
damn.
Yeah.
Teddy's up there right now working with that light heavyweight Russian character.
Oh, that Usyk.
Yeah.
That kid's
Say it.
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Usyk.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
he
trained
is.
I trained over at Goosen's gym over the Christmas holidays.
Oh, did you really?
I hadn't boxed in 2 years. Oh my God, I suck. My fucking hands hurt. I'm like, God, fuck this sport.
What your hands?
My
itself?
hands were hurting after. Like, God.
Did you wrap them?
I wrapped them. I may have wrapped them too tight.
Fucking, you got soft hands.
Don't make me square up, kid. It's been 2 years. I was like, how did I do this?
You got to do it slow.
Yeah.
Jump back
You
in
know what
slow.
it was? Because he knew I used to train back in the day. So I was like, I wanted to look good. And I'm like,
Okay,
So you really
let me
got
help
into
you.
it.
You know what you do? See, this is where the martial arts comes in, buddy. Get this thing of sand, and you just start punching it. Sand. Toughen you up a little bit, son.
Toughen you up with sand.
Toughen you up,
bro.
son.
When I say my hands hurt, I meant like the joints. My
Yeah.
joints were hurting.
Well, you know what people do? You ever see rice bags? They stick their hand in rice bags. They do a lot of this
Oh, yeah?
inside rice bags. That apparently is very good for your hands.
I did that, but my mom
So-
got mad. I was fucking up her rice.
So, what did you do about it? Your hands.
I went home and just soaked them.
If you just get back to doing it, it'll come back.
Yeah,
to you.
no, I figured that much, but I'm like,
Bring a tennis ball everywhere. Start
Yeah.
squeezing
I'm just
it.
like, I'm gonna stick with jiu-jitsu. It doesn't hurt as much.
Jiu-jitsu doesn't hurt your hands?
No, I wear those little Luta gear guards.
What?
Luta gear. Have you seen them? They got these little finger guards that they actually help.
What are they?
Strengthen. It gives you.
They make a 2-finger and a 3-finger.
I have no idea what that
I
is.
wear the 3-finger. It's just like a little. It's like a little cut-off glove for your fingers.
Really?
Holds them together.
It's ninja thing.
It's nice.
Does it give you more traction too? 'Cause it's
Not
as
necessarily,
slippery?
but it keeps your fingers together. It keeps them from separating, so you don't fucking pop your finger out.
That's probably good if you're a guitarist or some shit, huh?
Probably. My mom uses them too for arthritis.
Oh, look at that. That's it?
Yeah, that's the 2-finger joint.
Wow.
I use the 3.
I've never even fucked with those.
Yeah.
I'm old school, bro. I just tape my shit up.
Yeah, but you're also fucking gorilla strong. It's weird.
Why is it weird?
Because it's like playing with a fucking silverback gorilla. Even when I watched you roll with Jean-Jacques that day, I was like, you want to roll? I go, no, I don't. I'll do it now, but then I'm like, no, but
I've been doing it a long time, man. I started jiu-jitsu in 96.
we're rolling tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
I'm calling them now. We're going to probably roll around 8:30 in the morning if that's cool with you.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
What's different about jujitsu and wrestling? What's the difference?
Depending upon whether or not you use the gi is a big factor because you could grab a hold of that, and it makes you more defensive minded because you can get caught in things, you can get caught in submissions easier. Submissions are the big thing, obviously, but I do a lot of no gi. I have a black belt in no gi jiu-jitsu and gi jiu-jitsu. I actually prefer no gi.
What do you want to do tomorrow?
We do whatever. We do gi. I don't care.
Just to slow it down.
I just don't use it. I just
Right.
don't use the gi. You know, I let people grab mine, but I try to use arm bars and chokes and things that I would do no gi. That's how I trained from gi to no gi so that I could do both. I just decided I'm just going to train in the gi like I don't have one on. Like let people grab. I'll recognize that I have it on, so
Right.
people can grab me, but I don't grab theirs. I just use overhooks and underhooks and.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to make a joke out of no gi.
Oh,
Somebody having the gi.
Joe's a gi lord.
it is definitely a slower game. Like older dudes in particular, they seem to like the gi because they can kind of control you.
It's good for you, and it could also be used against you, which is bad.
Well, it's if you have a winter coat on, man. Like I always
Yeah.
said that the worst thing to do is get in a fight with a judo black belt when you got a winter coat on.
Oh, yeah.
Just grab
Or
you
even
and
a suit.
slam you on
Even
your
a
head.
Even a
suit.
sweater like that's
sure.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
We're looking at you.
It's all gravy.
yeah. You got your blue belt now, right?
Yeah.
When you think you get a purple belt? You're on your way, right?
I got to get some stripes. I talked to JJ about it. I go, dude, I'm trying to train more so I can get a stripe. He goes, yeah, you're due for a stripe. I go, well,
Come on.
I got to fucking train more so I can
Yeah.
get the stripe. I don't want the stripe. I want to earn the stripe.
Are you doing things other than your jiu-jitsu training in terms of like physical training?
Maybe little dumbbells and yoga ball. That's about
Yeah,
it.
that's it. Yeah, you should get a trainer. Get someone like it'll make a big difference. It's like think about your body as like a race car, right? If you could just lift weights and your race car would go faster, wouldn't you do that? Like if there was a thing you could do, you could make your
I
race
do my
car?
little dumbbells, but my elbow fucking hurts lately. So
This is
Quit
the thing
being
I was
a
talking
baby.
about. This is the thing I was talking about.
What do you do
for
with it?
tennis elbow?
right.
I was having a problem with my elbow. You hold it like that, like you twist it like this, and then you untwist it with your arm. So you hold it like this, twist, and then untwist it. You do it slowly, and it works on these tendons, the same tendons that you get with.
But it's just so
tennis elbow.
shitty how I got it from
Thank-
fucking sleeping.
Could we have him try that right now?
Let's
There we
see.
go.
Damn, it's a lot heavier than it looks. So you twist it.
Mhm, and then untwist it. Yeah, like twist it like that, right? And then level it out, and then slowly untwist it.
That's good.
Yeah. You just
You
got to
feel
do
it?
it over and over and over again.
A little bit. It's far more dense than it looks.
Yeah. It's great for your tendons. It specifically works this part of your arm, like down in here.
Now you just look like you're jerking off, Len.
That's good too. You know what else is good? A roller. You know, like when you have one of
Those
those
foam
cords.
rollers?
No, a cord with like a weight at the bottom of it, and you got to roll it with your wrists.
Oh yeah, we used to do that in boxing
those
back
are,
in the day.
Those are great.
People just used to fabricate them in the gym. With
Yeah,
duct
yeah, yeah.
tape.
I remember those.
Yeah, like a stick with
Yeah.
a rope. Those are great. Yeah, I have one of those out there too. It's just that's one of the best.
Yeah, for your
exercises.
forearms, right?
Yeah, for your forearms and gripping. Just have that kind of strength.
Good.
You would be awesome at jiu-jitsu. I guarantee you, because you're a chess player, and jiu-jitsu is very cerebral. You know, boxing obviously is very cerebral too, but you're limited in your weapons. You only have a certain amount of angles you could punch from. Whereas
Right.
jiu-jitsu, there's an endless combination of transitions.
you get some time to think in certain positions.
yeah.
I had a teacher that did Aikido.
Aikido?
Yeah. With
Yeah.
The,
Wrist
bones.
locks. and-
That's what he did to that dude at the jewelry shop.
I did a half a keto, half jiu-jitsu on him.
He did something to me, and I realized, okay, I gotta watch out for that. It's where a person manipulates your bone and then drops their whole weight on it.
Oh,
so you have to
yeah,
go down.
yeah. That shit could break your hand
Yeah,
too,
and
though.
if you don't go with it, it'll break your hand.
Yeah.
Fredson Paixão does that shit to people.
Yeah, Marcelo Garcia's tapped people out, like high-level people with wrist locks in jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Yeah, John Jacques was showing me like how to wrist lock a guy while you're. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
It's like it's not nice. Don't do it to people, but you can do this if you want.
Yeah, there's some nasty shit. The thing is, like, there's no end to jiu-jitsu. There's no end.
There's no like these are all the moves and that's it. The people keep inventing moves.
Constantly. I just found out a new move yesterday. One Rubber Guard Assassins on Instagram.
Right.
They figured out some crazy Kimura you do from a closed guard that leads to a triangle. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but you
is
gotta
this?
somebody has to let you do a lot of those things to them.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't know what you're doing. They don't even know you're letting them do
I'm always
it.
concerned about rubber guard with your knees, like fucking up your knee joints, because you got to be very flexible to get that rubber guard in.
Yeah, just stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, stretch. Get yourself.
Rubber guard? I don't know. Help
It's,
me
You don't
out.
know what that is?
It's where you put somebody in between your legs. When you describe it, it sounds so gay. You put somebody between your legs, and then you pull your leg over their head, but their head has to pop through. So now you're controlling them. You can hold their head this way. And it's a lot of fucking rubberiness
Yes.
that I don't have the ability to do.
It was invented by my friend Eddie Bravo, but there was some guys who would play high guard before that. He just put it into a more. There it is.
There it
That's
is.
a good example of it. That's what it looks like. So he's pulling down using his leg and his arms to control a guy, and wraps him up and
While he's
attacks.
down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he's on the bottom.
Looks like a Gracie move.
It is. It's a jiu-jitsu move. So
It's a Bravo move.
all jiu-jitsu essentially.
That's Eddie right there.
Yeah, there he is.
Eddie and Joe came up under my teacher, and then Eddie took it to another level from there.
Well, Eddie just branched out and went into no-gi. He's much more, but he has a black belt in the gi as well. Much more concerned with no-gi techniques because he wanted techniques that would work in mixed martial arts. So in mixed martial arts, you don't have the collars to grab and the sleeves to grab. So he wanted to invent a system that you could use, especially when you have the ability to fight off of your back. It's when you fight. That's Ben Saunders, who's like one of the best at it in MMA. And if you get wrapped up, you're on top of a dude and he wraps you up with his legs like that. It's very demoralizing.
Yeah,
You get so trapped.
Yeah,
in there.
human nature tells you when you're on your back and there's a guy on top of you, you're in trouble. But in jiu-jitsu, you're like, nah, it's fine. I got this.
If you got a good guard like John Jock.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have any interest in that? Where do you live these days?
I live in Canada.
You still live in Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Jamaica for a minute.
Yeah. You were living in Jamaica for a while? Yeah.
That was fun.
I love Toronto. This is one of my favorite places on the
That's where
planet.
you first met him. I introduced you to him.
Yeah,
Then.
I was telling him earlier. At
the nightclub.
Yeah.
I took Joe to
Yeah.
a nightclub to meet Lennox.
And I
Yeah.
remember that meeting though.
Yeah.
That's when what's his name was playing.
Scratch.
Scratch was playing and everybody was there.
Toronto's just such a perfect city. It's like the people are nice, but it's urban. Like it's very populated. There's a lot of people, but
Yeah.
they don't have that asshole vibe that like New York
I
has.
think it's the 5th largest city in North America.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
Let me tell you, they're building like mad over there.
Yeah.
A lot of condos made out of glass.
Hmm.
Renters market.
But but tiny little places.
Well, there's so much cool shit there. And now that weed's legal, it's probably booming in Canada.
But
What's it
weed was
like up
never
there
really
now?
an issue there. If you got caught with it, like, just give me it, stop it.
But now it's like you'd go there, there's stores. You know, there's stores on the street. Like,
Is it that easy over there? Is that
oh,
how they
yeah.
got it?
Yeah, I think they have
I
them
haven't
a
been
couple
back
stores. There's a couple
We saw
stores.
some. We saw
I think
some stores.
they're opening like about 25 or 50 in Toronto. So the government's giving them.
It's a great place,
Free
man.
ride.
I did that place that you do, that the Scotiabank.
Their Canada Center. Yeah. Oh, Scotiabank,
They
yeah.
call it Scotiabank now?
Yeah, I just did it in November. He came.
Oh.
And then you were there, I think, like a month before me when I
Yeah,
left.
yeah. I was there before my Netflix special came out, and it came out in October, so I think I was there around then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking love it up there, man. That's probably one of my favorite cities to visit.
Come on back.
I love it. Massey Hall, love
Yeah,
that place.
we did that together.
Yes, that was fun, man.
You, me, and Big J.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that was a good time, man. The UFCs there are always great too.
Yeah. Good support. They love it up there.
Yeah. Well, it's just Toronto's just such an unusual city. Like Canada in general. Like, I'll ask you this: why are people so nice? They're so much nicer than Americans.
It's I don't know. It's different.
There's nice Americans.
There's
Don't
not-
get me
I-
When
wrong.
you say nice, you're saying they're
Friendlier.
they're more polite.
More polite,
Yeah,
yes.
more polite.
Yes.
Yeah, I find that too.
I think
Yeah.
Americans are nicer on as far as
Have you been to New York lately?
yeah, I love New York. Here's the thing: Canadians are polite, but we'll talk shit about you when you're not looking. Do you know what I mean?
I'll
Like,
take that. I'll
but-
take that over being rude in my face.
But Canadians can also get freaked out by people being forward, which Americans are considered very forward, and you know it's an outgoing thing. So whereas an American will be like, hey, yo, I want to ask you something. Canadians will be like, oh, why is this person so aggressive? Like, whereas a Canadian will be like, excuse me, I'd like to ask you a question.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. That's true.
It's very similar, but just different approaches.
Why, as far as like stand-up comedy, how good is the community in Canada? Is it like the community in America where there's a lot of up-and-coming people, or is it
There's a lot of comics in Canada. A lot of great ones come out of Canada. The problem is there's no the money's not there. So no matter
like touring around,
yeah, like the clubs. Once you get, the clubs tap out at like maybe you'll make. Let's see that's 6 shows on a weekend. A good headliner can make $1,200. That's it.
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fucking insane.
Yeah, it's rough, especially if they're selling out and making drink money. And the club
that's
is
the
doing
problem.
well.
Is that the club? I liken it to the UFC almost to a certain degree. It's not about the comic; it's about the name of the club.
Like Yuck Yucks.
Yeah, Yuck Yucks is about Yuck Yucks. And it doesn't matter who's there; it's about Yuck Yucks. The UFC is about UFC. It doesn't matter who the fucking fighter is.
They used to have that attitude at some of the clubs in L.A. That was one of the reasons why they had that big comic strike way back in the 70s.
Yeah,
It's because people felt like the comics were the ones who were providing the art form, but the clubs were the ones who were making all the money, and they were like, hey, you're at the Improv or you're at the Comedy Store.
the pay scale at these clubs is the same as it was in the '80s, which is fucking horrible. Like I take people out on the road with me, and the clubs will pay $50 for an MC for the weekend. And $100 for the feature, and I'm like, that's what it was. I started in '89, and that's what it was back then.
That's crazy. They
It's
just never
still
had a
like
change.
that, and I'm like, that's terrible. Like, how are these kids going to make a living?
Well, in a way, it's a lot like boxing, because like when people think that boxers make millions of dollars because Floyd Mayweather will make $100 million in a fight,
Right.
and that is true. But if you look at the undercard, like there's guys that are fighting for chump change. I mean, and they are going through a long camp. Like,
Let me tell you,
do you remember your first paycheck?
Yeah,
What was your first boxing paycheck?
5,000.
Wow.
That's
for a
because I'm
fight.
coming out of the Olympics, baby.
Yeah,
Olympic
that's true.
champion.
But
so
even still, that's $5,000 for a fucking professional fight.
Yeah.
But you also had signed a $1 million deal.
oh yeah, it's going to add up after a while.
Yeah, I mean, you're an exception. I mean, there's guys fighting out there for like $800. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
800. Try 500, 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know, another thing that disturbs me about MMA as opposed to boxing is the win-lose bonus. I don't like that. I think a fighter should get paid what they're supposed to get paid. No one's trying to lose. And if you're trying to lose, you're never going to be able to compete at the highest level anyway. These guys are pouring their heart and soul, they're giving their body, they're literally sacrificing their health. And they might get fucked out of a decision. And because of that, they lose 50% of their money. So some incompetent judge, which in boxing is everywhere. I mean,
Adelaide Bird.
how dare you? Well, there was even worse than her. There's people that don't even do it anymore because they get chased out of the game.
Every time I listen to that's when you're a fan of the sport, when you hear the judges' names, you go, fuck, not that guy.
Yeah. So there was a lot of them, man. There was a lot of them. I mean, but imagine if 50% of your purse goes away because someone doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
So wait, the win-lose bonus, they're guaranteed a certain amount.
They're guaranteed a certain amount, but that's to show. Like, say this.
Right.
Like, say maybe you would get 10 and 10. So you get $10,000 to fight and $10,000 more if you win.
Right.
But it's crazy. It's oftentimes 50%. And the idea is that you're going to give these fighters an incentive to put on a better show. But I don't like...
And then fight of the night bonus.
I don't like when people fight any different than the way they're fighting when they're fighting the best and the smartest.
Right.
I think you should fight intelligently. You shouldn't engage in a wild brawl because you want some performance bonus. You know, because like they'll give out performance of the night or knockout of the night.
Can you lose and still get the fight of the night bonus?
Yes,
of course.
Cerrone's got a ton of those.
He's got a ton of bonuses. But I mean, that's him though. He would fight that way if you gave him a guarantee.
Oh yeah,
He's a
Cerrone's
perfect
beast.
example. If he knew he was going to make $500,000 a fight, no matter what, he would fight exactly that way. That's how he fights, and I think that's how it should be.
He's an anomaly though because he grew up with money, didn't he? He grew up with a decent lifestyle.
Terribly poor. He wasn't wealthy.
I thought he had money. I thought he could grow up with a decent amount of money. That's the way I was sold it.
I don't believe so. I don't want to speak out of school though.
Me neither. But I have always been he's fucking...
BJ Penn did. You know,
Yeah.
BJ Penn is a legend. BJ grew up with a wealthy family. They're wealthy. He just was a fighter.
Who's he fighting? I just saw somewhere he's fighting.
He's going to fight Clay Guida.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a fucking odd one.
I thought he retired.
He did. He got bored. Decided he still wants to do it. He actually looked very good in his last fight up until
Clay
the time
Guida
he
was
got
a very
leg
exciting
locked.
fighter back in the day.
He's still a wild man.
Yeah.
He's still a wild. But he got leg locked by Ryan Hall, who's just this phenomenal jiu-jitsu player. And
Wow.
he caught him with he did a Imanari roll and caught him at a leg lock and just fucked his leg up.
Eminari roll.
Yeah.
Are you talking about?
It sounds like something you eat at a sushi place.
Could I get Eminari
I think it was an
roll?
Imanari roll. Imanari is this very famous Japanese fighter who is a phenomenal leg lock artist. And there's actually two moves. There's the Imanari roll and there's an Imanari, which an Imanari comes from omoplata. An omoplata is a shoulder lock. I think it's a Portuguese word. I think that's why they call it omoplata.
Yeah, I mean, it's from your leg. To
It's
your
a
shoulder.
it's a shoulder lock, and then the Imanari is while you're locked up in the omoplata, you grab like a grip underneath the guy's chin and you yank him back. It's a nasty. Now I'll show you tomorrow.
I hope not. I really hope not. Can't we just have a friendly roll?
We can, but if you catch yourself in an omoplata, it's coming.
You know what's funny is when I'm a big fan of the in-arm choke, which I know is your favorite.
Head and arm, yeah.
And
You
now,
mean you mean over like
Yeah.
that?
yeah, and then Jean-Jacques now calls it the Joe Hogan. Someone do it. Get the Joe Hogan, and that's your move. It's now your move at the gym.
Well, you know, sometimes you have like techniques that you hit so often that you just know when they're there,
Yeah.
and you can close them up real quick.
Yeah.
That was always my shit.
That's what ever since then, I've actually been working on that.
Well, you know, so many guys did it to me, and it's such a suffocating feeling when someone's on top of you and you got your arm pinned here, and then next to their arms across your neck, and you're like, ugh. It's such a
And you make that
horrible-
noise, funny enough, too.
Oh, it's a horrible way to get choked out.
With the Estima lock. I like when
Yeah.
guys get locks named after them.
How do you get out of it?
Well, you have to put your hand on your ear like you're answering the phone. That's one. The first thing is you're trying to create some space here so that you don't go to sleep. You gotta give into the fact that this guy's choking this side of your neck for sure. So the arm's coming under here and it's wrapping around here. And if you just go like that and it's down, or like that, it's going to get smushed. You're getting smushed, right? So you gotta bring this thing in here, and you're trying to create a little bit of space, and then you hope this motherfucker gets tired of squeezing your neck, and then you're trying to get in here and create a little bit of space. That's all you're trying to do. Just give me a little bit of space at a time. Just a little bit of space. Just get a little bit of space. It's all just a matter of little inches, little tiny micro movements. But when someone has your arm wrapped up like that, and they have that arm across your neck, and they're crushing you with their body weight, and then they get their knee on your solar plexus and flatten you out and squeeze down, it's horrible.
Are there fighters in other countries that don't go in MMA, but they're unbelievable fighters, but they're not trying to show anybody that they're unbelievable fighters?
Oh, like kung fu guys?
Yeah.
No, those guys all get fucked up when they try to. They think they do it because you start believing it, and you have your students, and they believe you're the master. And
There's that
There's a lot
Shaolin
of
guy who
videos.
tried entering a
there's
bunch
a
of.
bunch of those videos.
Remember that guy who'd wear the orange Shaolin suit and he would win in like these really hokey fight contests, and then he'd get into the big ones and he'd just get the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, he was kickboxing. Yeah, he actually had some skills. Like he knew.
I used to watch his shit on
he had
YouTube.
some. He could do a little bit, but what I'm talking about is like these chi masters. Like a lot
Oh,
of
those
these
those
yeah,
the ones where you put seems real or
those are so sad.
real
They
as
get,
fuck.
yeah,
you
they
put-
get beat up.
Yeah, McDojo. What is the McDojo Life on Instagram has a shitload of those.
Yeah, those make me laugh.
They're so sad.
Oh yeah, that's what he put. You put seems legit.
Yeah, well, a lot of
Or
these
legit
guys,
as fuck.
they'll go and fight a real fighter, and they think they actually know how to fight, and they just get concussed. They just get smashed open. You know,
Because you know why?
Why?
Because they don't get hit.
yeah, they don't get hit.
That's
Yeah.
why I love boxing. You know, boxing, you spar all the time, you
Yep.
get hit all the time. So, you know, in a real fight, boxers have been hit. You know, guys that do kung fu and all those things, they don't get hit. So when they do get hit in a real fight, it's like it messes them up. It's like, oh
Yeah.
no, what do I do now?
Didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, practical application. The difference between practicing and thinking. There's so many of these.
guys
What
are
is this guy
hilarious.
doing? I haven't seen this one. Is this a new one?
I just picked one that looked.
That guy in
like
the
it.
black gi looks like he's gonna fuck this dude up.
It's a very that gi looks like the carpeting in my bedroom.
Oh my god. What are these guys are?
Oh, see the
it's
chi? Did you
fake.
see that?
Oh, it's.
Did you see
fake.
that?
It's a chichi man.
I wonder why they're wearing such weird gis and look at everybody clapping. They
And
really
look how many
believe
black
that.
belts are in that class. God damn.
These silly fucks. They really believe that. I bet that guy could get him to suck his dick the same way.
I know people who really believe that their teacher can do that stuff.
Suck it. Suck it.
They're called priests.
How dare you? Yeah, it's weird that those people are still around in the day of video cameras that you can still have this. But yeah, what you're saying is perfect. Like even when you were saying that if you hadn't fought in 2 years and then
Right.
you would get in there and get hit, you're like, whoa, okay.
Let me
Like,
see. I seen Keith Thurman do that.
really?
That-
Oh, in his
that's-
last fight.
Yeah. When he
Yes, I
fought
saw that
Lopez.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, he looked.
And Lopez isn't a banger by any means.
He looked a little off though.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know?
But Keith Thurman had to suffer through that one little concussion, concussed, I should say, and he was all right after that. If you hit him with that same shot, he would have took it even better.
Yeah.
Because he got over the hump.
I still gave that fight to
Yeah.
Lopez though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
A lot of people did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a close fight
It
for
was a
sure.
close fight, yeah.
And it was Thurman's big comeback fight. I mean, how long had he been out?
2 years at least.
Why was he injured?
He was injured. He had some sort of shoulder,
Operations.
elbow, or
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's also one of the things that makes it so interesting. I mean, when a guy does come back from a devastating loss, and you go, okay, like Manny Pacquiao when Marquez knocked him out.
out.
Woo! I mean, crazy.
Out.
That was a bad one.
That was a bad one.
Yeah.
That was a bad one. That's
It's
going to
like-
cause some slurring later.
Maybe.
It's like, you make a move, it's a good move, but then you've moved into the man's power punch and he hits you and, there's no second chance with that one.
Yeah, and Marquez, I mean, he's an interesting case. I mean, he's obviously a very, very talented fighter, but as he got older, he got physically stronger. He got bigger and stronger. Mexican supplements,
Mexican
Well,
meat.
a lot involved.
Clenbuterol meat.
Monkey juice.
There's a lot involved there, right? I mean, and he actually was working with Manny Pacquiao's old strength and conditioning guy, and Manny was the guy who was always accused of doing stuff.
Oh, you're talking about Alex Ariza?
Yeah, I mean, Manny went up 8 weight
I had
classes.
Alex Ariza train me before
Yeah?
when I was doing my special 3 years ago.
Look at him. Jacked. Is he still fighting?
No, he's retired.
Marquez is done? Yeah, good for him.
He's
They're talking
enjoying
about Floyd. They're talking about doing a Floyd Pacquiao rematch.
I'm not really excited about that.
You know what I'm excited about? I want to see how much money Floyd Mayweather can make. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the fact that he talked everybody into that Conor McGregor fight and he made more than $100 million for that
Wait,
fight.
isn't that Tenshin kid fighting again? He's fighting somebody else now.
Nazukawa? Yeah. He's a badass
Yeah, no, but he's
kickboxer.
supposed to be fighting another.
Another boxer?
Yeah.
Oh. I think you're right. I
Probably a
think that's
lesser
right.
one, but you know.
Well, tension is 126 pounds.
Yeah, so he should fight somebody that size.
I mean, the fact that he fought Mayweather at all, and people are like, "Oh, it looks like it was a fake fight." No, that's what it looks like when a 126-pound fighter fights one of the best boxers of all time.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. That doesn't look fake.
he did fall very dramatically.
Because he got his fucking brain rattled, you know?
Oh, is it Gervonta? Yeah.
Davis? Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
but Gervonta can't make that weight anymore either.
Well,
Gervonta
they're
can't
not
even
gonna-
make the weight he's at now.
But they don't have him make weight. That's the thing. They just have him fight. I mean, Floyd didn't make any fucking weight. Did he? What did he weigh?
Do you like the way ONE FC is doing their weight thing?
Yes.
That's
I like
pretty
it a
cool.
lot. Yeah, for people who don't know, they don't let them cut weight. They do hydration tests, so there's no dehydrating yourself. So if you weigh naturally, you walk around 185 pounds, you're going to fight at 185 pounds. You're not going to fight at 170 or 165 like a lot of these guys do.
That's good.
Yeah, I'd love
Yeah,
it.
that's good because the hydration aspect of even in any sport, taking that liquid away from the brain.
Yeah.
your body needs liquid.
Yeah.
It survives on liquid.
And
so
it
if
makes your bones brittle.
It's terrible for you in every way. It's terrible for your performance, your internal organs. A lot of guys have kidney failure when they're cutting weight for weigh-ins. That's the beautiful thing about you being a heavyweight, right?
Yeah, man, I didn't have to take off my clothes. I can weigh whatever. But
Yeah.
there was always that fighting weight where I would be perfect at. Manny was good at that.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh? Okay, we don't move Don't move from there.
Your
That's what
fighting
we
weight was
want.
what, about
what was-
240?
No, 235.
235 was perfect. We knew you were on.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what kind of nutrition did you follow when you were fighting? Did you take specific vitamins or did you drink specific things?
No, just Jamaican food.
Jamaican food.
Yeah. Angelo Dundee asked me that same question.
Yeah.
I said, "What do you eat?" I said, "My mother's food." He said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it."
That's a perfect Angelo Dundee quote.
Yep.
Yeah, he's another one, man. Remember that with Sugar Ray Leonard against Thomas Hearns? You're blowing it, kid.
Yeah.
And he sees Sugar Ray Leonard get fired up, and he goes out and stops him the next round.
There was a lot of good trainers back then.
Having
Eddie
a
Futch,
great
Georgie Benton.
trainer. How
Yeah, Georgie Benton. Yeah, bless his soul. Good trainer as well.
it's so important for a young fighter to get hooked up with the right trainer.
Right. We got on that for a second. I think part of the problem with a lot of the young kids right now, they need to get good trainers.
Yeah.
Good trainers really help your game because even helps you with the TV. Because I was saying today that when Emmanuel came into my corner, HBO started talking about me better. Before that, it was like, oh, he doesn't throw the jab enough. He looks like he's tired. The fight when I went with Manny, they were like praising me. Oh, he's doing good now. Manny's behind him now. He's a trainer of champions. So trainer really helps your game.
Were you with Manny when you fought Mercer?
Yes.
That was a war.
Yeah.
That was a war.
Actually, no, I wasn't. That Mercer fight, he actually Mercer helped me out because before that fight, I was always fighting guys that hooked around, body shots and hooks. So I kept my hands like this at the side of my face. Then I went into that fight, got a fat lip. I hate getting fat lips in my fights. It's like, hey, did you win the fight? Yeah. It didn't look like it. You could get a fat lip from, So I kept on walking around with a fat lip, and then
I got a good picture of you. I got a good picture of you, me, and Lloyd, and you got a fat lip. It's right after one of your fights from like '97.
and then Manny said, "You know what you're doing wrong." He said, "You need to put your hand in front of your mouth." I'm like, okay. So even if a guy throws a punch which doesn't slide through, it's going to hit your hand. And he said, you can move your hand 2 inches to protect yourself from a hook, can't you? And I said, yeah. Oh, okay, you're right. After that fight,
things.
no more fat lips. But I used to hate getting fat lips, boy. 'Cause everybody look at you funny.
That's hilarious. Well, but having a great trainer is it's so important in MMA as well. I mean, and there's not that many of them. It's like you really have to find the right ones.
A lot of good trainers are just former fighters now, right?
Well, there's that, yeah. But, you know, someone has to be a real they can't just be a trainer or just be a former fighter, rather. You have to be a student. You have to really understand the game. Like, Emmanuel was only an amateur fighter, right? He never fought professional, and he was one of the greatest of all time, unquestionably.
Yeah.
Like, everybody respected him. And so soft-spoken, you know, and just knew how to raise fighters. And you think about all the guys, Gerald McClellan, Tommy Hearns, all the great fighters that came out of that camp.
The only problem I have with, you know, old-time fighters is, like, you know, some old-time fighters were bad fighters. Now they're training a young kid the same way, and it's not positive.
Yes.
It's like you're teaching them the bad tricks.
Yeah. But then there's guys who are better as trainers than they were as fighters, like Freddie Roach.
100%, yeah.
Like Freddie Roach is recognized one of the greatest trainers for sure alive, but as a fighter, he was a journeyman.
Kevin Rooney was a good trainer in his day.
Yeah.
And he got knocked out by Arguello in the second round.
Well, he was a good trainer with Tyson, but he never really developed talent outside of Tyson.
I think he developed a lot of alcohol. That's what.
So, you know, hanging around with Mike, and he's got
Trying to do
tigers
it
on
to
a
you.
leash. And
then Buddy had a good run for a minute, Buddy McGirt.
He's still training fighters.
Yeah, I've trained with Buddy before.
Did you?
Good.
Yeah.
He was a great fighter.
Buddy was a great fighter.
Yeah.
Great dude.
Yo, you haven't trained with me yet.
Because
When
you're
are you
afraid
gonna-
of me, guy.
Listen, man, your phone keeps blowing up, and you were supposed to be out here an hour ago. But I appreciate your time, man.
Thank
and
you.
it was an honor to sit here and talk to you.
Thanks for having
You're one of
me.
my favorites of all time.
Appreciate
and
it.
Russell, I like you too.
Thanks, man. You're my favorite guy to get choked
Oh,
out by.
sweetie, we're gonna have some fun tomorrow.
Jesus.
Lennox Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everybody. That was great.